Chapter 731. No, of course not. The secretary served tea and went out again. Li Chinchua looked at Luo Qing and said, "All right, what's the matter? You can say it now." "There is indeed something." Luo Qing looked at Li Chinchua and was not in a hurry to speak. Instead, he picked up the tea in front of him and took a sip. Li Chinchua was not in a hurry. She felt more at ease knowing that the other party had something to ask of her rather than nothing. "Take a look at this first." Luo Qing took out a proposal and placed it on Li Chinchua's table. Li Chinchua picked it up but was not in a hurry to open it. "This is our latest project. We need investors." Luo Qing spoke unhurriedly. In fact, they really needed investors. This project was the reason why he wanted to separate from Luo Ming and was unwilling to continue operating Luo Xing Market. Li Chinchua was not surprised. The Li family had a transcendent status in Lin City. Every year, countless people would send all kinds of proposals or plans to the Li Corporation, hoping that the Li Corporation would be willing to invest in them. She flipped open the proposal book that Luo Qing had brought. The Li Group operated a wide range of projects. In addition to real estate, there were also e-commerce, electronic products, and investment companies. Li Chinchua was in charge of the Li Corporation's investment company. They will be responsible for picking out the profitable projects from the suitable ones. The proposal was very thick. It could be seen that the other party had done his homework. Li Chinchua put the proposal aside. "If you don't mind, I'll give you an answer after I understand it. You can have a look first. I'll think about it." Luo Qing had a faint smile on his face. He was not afraid that Li Chinchua would reject the plan. "Let's work together on official matters first." Then, he would slowly dispel Li Chinchua's worries and let her slowly accept him. This was also one of his plans. Li Chinchua glanced at him and finally picked up the proposal to read. She was looking at the planning, and Luo Qing was looking at her. Li Chinchua was beautiful. Back in Lin City, it was almost to the point where one family had a daughter. However, no one expected that Li Chinchua would find a poor boy in the end. The marriage of Li Chinchua and Su Qinghui had shocked everyone in Lin City. While Luo Qing was distracted, Li Chinchua had already finished reading the plan. She didn't look at it in detail. She just looked at it briefly. "The data is well done, and the analysis is on point. It looks like the prospects are pretty good." Luo Qing had a confident smile on his face. His looks were not outstanding, and he had the typical aura of a businessman in his 40s. The shrewdness that occasionally showed in his eyes made Li Chinchua unhappy, but she would not deny the other party's plan. "But, you know, I don't have the final say in Guangyuan investment. I need to answer to the shareholders and the board of directors. So, leave this proposal. I'll give you an answer in a week." "Okay." Luo Qing nodded with a look of understanding. "I'll wait for your good news." After talking about business, Luo Qing was not in a hurry to leave. "It's almost time for dinner. Why don't we have a meal together?" "There's no need. I have something to do later." "What a pity. I was thinking that if there was a chance, we could continue to communicate during dinner." As Luo Qing spoke, he stood up. There was a look of pity in his eyes. "Looks like it can only be next time." Li Chinchua didn't respond. She couldn't guarantee when the next time would be. After all, to her, Luo Qing was no different from an ordinary investor. "Then you go ahead with your work. I'll be leaving first." Although Luo Qing had a purpose, he was not in a hurry. He was patient. Li Chinchua stood up out of politeness. At this moment, the internal line sounded, and Yang Rong's voice came. "President Li, President Su is here." Su Qinghui. Li Qianxue was stunned for a moment. Thinking about how she had met Su Qinghui again and again because of the project, she wasn't surprised. Let him in. She didn't notice the slight change in Luo Cheng's expression after she said this. When Su Qinghui came in, Luo Qing had already changed his face. When Su Qinghui came in, Luo Qing had already changed his face. He rushed from the construction site to the Li Corporation. When he passed by a flower shop, he suddenly had an idea and asked Xiao Ran to stop the car. He rushed from the construction site to the Li Corporation. When he passed by a flower shop, he suddenly had an idea and asked Xiao Ran to stop the car. Sir, are you buying roses for some special anniversary? Do you need our help writing a card? No. There's no need to write a card. Just wrap it up for me. Su Qinghui suddenly had the excitement of a little boy. I'll send it to her personally. Your wife is so happy. No. Su Qinghui shook his head and looked at the bouquet of roses. All he could think of was Li Qianxue's beautiful face. I'm even happier to be able to marry her. It was just that he didn't cherish such happiness in the past. But in the future, he wouldn't. The way the flower shop assistant looked at him was different. After working in the flower shop for so long, Su Qinghui didn't look young. He still wanted to buy flowers for his wife instead of for a mistress. He was really a good man. Su Qinghui didn't know how good the shop assistant's imagination was. However, when he sat in the car and looked at the large bouquet of roses, he inexplicably began to look forward to Li Qianxue's expression when she saw the bouquet of flowers. Unexpectedly, Luo Qing hadn't left yet. President Luo is here too. What a coincidence. President Su. Luo Qing naturally didn't miss the roses in Su Qinghui's hand. President Su, are you here to talk about business? He roughly knew how Li Qianxue felt about Su Qinghui. He didn't think that Li Qianxue would accept Su Qinghui's actions. Su Qinghui didn't answer Luo Cheng's question. President Luo, are you here for business too? Luo Qing finally looked a little embarrassed because of Su Qinghui's question. Yes. It's also business. Then didn't I come at a bad time? Are you guys done talking? Li Qianxue hadn't said anything. Only now did she say, we're done. Luo Qing had no reason to stay. He looked at the flowers in Su Qinghui's hand and felt a little unwilling. However, he also knew his own weight at this moment. Yes, we're done talking. Then, President Li, I'll leave first. Please. Li Qianxue stood in her original position and didn't move. No matter how unwilling Luo Qing was, he still walked forward with every step he took. The office door closed. Su Qinghui walked in front of Li Qianxue with the bouquet of roses. This is for you. Li Qianxue stood still. Just now, Luo Qing was there, so she couldn't show any emotions towards the flowers in Su Qinghui's hand. What do you mean? Nothing. I just want to give you a bouquet of flowers. Su Qinghui, I don't think there's a need for any other communication between the two of us other than business. I just want to give you a bouquet of flowers. It has nothing to do with business or personal matters. Su Qinghui placed the bouquet of flowers in front of Li Qianxue. You don't have to be too nervous. I'm not nervous. I don't believe that I need to accept this bouquet of flowers from you. When Li Qianxue spoke, there was a hint of mockery on her face. Is this a sudden compensation? Or do you regret it? Qianxue. Su Qinghui took a step forward. He walked behind the desk and placed the bouquet of flowers in Li Qianxue's hand. I have indeed been regretting it. I have also been blaming myself for missing so much. There are many things that I didn't do well, and there are many things that I didn't do with you. I know that you won't give me a chance, and I know that you won't forgive me. You will think that I gave you flowers because I wanted to make it up to you, but what I did has nothing to do with regret or compensation. He let go of her hand, and Li Qianxue had no choice but to catch the bouquet of flowers. He looked into her eyes, and his gaze was gentle. I just wanted to give you a bouquet of flowers, that's all. Qianxue, in my heart, you are like this bouquet of roses, gorgeous, charming, and irresistibly fascinating. Her temperament, her experience, and the mature scent on her body made her look like the embodiment of roses. It seemed normal for him to be moved by her. Li Qianxue casually placed the flowers on the desk beside her and did not respond to Su Qinghui's words. However, she was not angry either. She knew very well in her heart that Su Qinghui's words were just flowery words and completely untrustworthy. However, her heart still beat imperceptibly because of his words and the look in his eyes. That kind of emotional fluctuation was so subtle that she almost deliberately ignored it. Are you done? If you are, you can leave. I'm done, but I can't leave. For more than a week, Su Qinghui had worked hard to make Li Qianxue recognize his ability in business. He did not come to give her a bouquet of flowers and leave. I went to the construction site today, and I found a few small problems. What problems? Sure enough, when it came to business, Li Qianxue could almost immediately get into the mood. Chen Pingyuan, the supervisor at the construction site. Did you let him in? Chen Pingyuan was the son of Li Qianxue's aunt. His ability was limited, but he could still do a job like supervisor. This person was arranged by Old Master Li. Old Master Li was old, and his children and grandchildren were not often by his side. When he had nothing to do, he would look for Old Master Li and his aunt. Li Qianxue became serious because of Su Qinghui's words. Yes, I asked him to go. What's wrong? What happened? I went to the construction site today. I stayed at the construction site for about an hour, but I didn't see Chen Pingyuan. Later, I asked again, and they told me that Chen Pingyuan was often not at the construction site. Every day, except for the morning, I couldn't find him at all. Today, a batch of steel came, and the other party couldn't even find someone to sign it. Li Qianxue's expression suddenly became serious. Is there such a thing? When she went to the construction site a few times before, Chen Pingyuan was always there. Yes. I also specially asked among the workers. They all told me that Chen Pingyuan was there every morning, but in the afternoon, he often ran away and disappeared. Qianxue, it's true that the Li Corporation belongs to the Li family. It's reasonable for you to arrange for some people to come in, but for a project like City Star. If there's no suitable supervisor, if there's no one who will always be in charge, then how can City Star become the benchmark building of Lin City? Li Qianxue was silent. She had always dealt with matters and not people. Su Qinghui's words naturally made sense. I got it. I'll pay attention to this matter. And after that, Su Qinghui looked at Li Qianxue. He didn't believe that she didn't know the seriousness of this matter. Are you planning to just warn him? Or criticize him? Originally, Wang Tao had said that he would arrange for a supervisor, but because this project was led by the Li Corporation, Wang Tao naturally respected and trusted Li Qianxue very much, so some of the subsequent work arrangements were mainly made by the Li Corporation. Li Qianxue didn't say anything. Old Master Li valued family, and Chen Pingyuan was her aunt's son. With this premise, if she fired Chen Pingyuan, she was afraid that her father wouldn't be able to explain it. However, she wouldn't allow anyone to work with such a careless attitude under her nose. I know what to do. Don't worry, I know how to deal with it. Su Qinghui had nothing to worry about. Li Qianxue had always been cold-blooded. She dealt with matters and not people. No matter who introduced the employees who made mistakes under her, no matter what relationship they had, she wouldn't give face to them. Is there anything else? Yes. Su Qinghui looked at the time. It was almost time to get off work. I want to treat you to dinner. Sorry, I don't have time. Li Qianxue refused without thinking. I want to go home to accompany my father. Su Yusin and Su Qingsang weren't in Lin City. As a daughter, if she didn't accompany Old Master Li often, she was afraid that the Old Master would be even more lonely. That's good. I haven't played chess with Dad for a long time. Why don't we play together? I also want to ask Dad for advice. Who are you calling Dad? Li Qianxue glared at him. She looked very imposing, but Su Qinghui only thought that her blinking was so cute. I'm sorry, I'm used to it. It's hard to change it for a while. Li Qianxue didn't speak. In fact, if Su Qinghui changed to call Old Master Li, uncle or something like that, she would feel even more awkward. My dad doesn't have time for you. Don't look for him. As she spoke, she tidied up her desk. Su Qinghui saw the proposal in her hand. He thought for a moment and reached out to take it. Li Qianxue couldn't stop him in time. Su Qinghui, you're no longer a member of the Li Corporation. You don't seem to have the right to read the Li Corporation's documents, do you? This doesn't seem to be a document from the Li Corporation. Su Qinghui shook the proposal. Although it isn't, it's now in the Li Corporation and on my desk. That's it. Please put it down. Su Qinghui wasn't in a hurry to put it down. Instead, he opened it and flipped through it. This should be Luo Cheng's plan, right? Did he come to you to ask you to invest in him? Li Qianxue took the proposal back from his hand. Does it have anything to do with you? Of course. Su Qinghui nodded. After all, he doesn't seem to have good intentions. I have to identify for you what exactly his intentions are. Su Qinghui, don't treat me like a child. I have the ability to distinguish right from wrong. I also know what kind of plan can make money and what kind of plan can bring benefits to the group. Of course you know, but you don't know the evil side of men. I don't believe that you can't tell that Luo Qing has ulterior motives. Chapter 732. Luo Qing had ulterior motives, but didn't Su Qinghui. Qianxue. If you want to prove that you don't have ulterior motives, you can leave now. Don't mention anything about going home with me to meet my dad and playing chess with him. Li Qianxue picked up her bag and was about to walk out. Su Qinghui stood in front of her. Qianxue, I just want to see Dad. After all, I haven't seen him for a long time. Su Qinghui. Li Qianxue stopped in her tracks and glared at the man in front of her. That's not your father. Don't call me so intimately. She lifted her feet and left. Xiao Zhao was already waiting downstairs. She got in the car, ignoring Su Qinghui, who had been following her. Su Qinghui looked at her back and shook his head helplessly. By the time Li Qianxue got home, she had already composed herself. The moment she entered the door, she turned around and looked outside. There was no sign of a car, nor did she hear any sound of a car. She retracted her gaze, and her eyes regained their coldness. When Li Qianxue and Old Master Li sat down at the dining table, Uncle Zhang suddenly came in. Grandpa, Sir is here. The only person Uncle Zhang would call Su Qinghui Sir was Su Qinghui. Old Master Li froze for a moment and looked at Li Qianxue in confusion. Li Qianxue's hand that was holding the chopsticks tightened slightly. She turned her face expressionlessly to look at Uncle Zhang. He didn't manage to spit out the words, so what if he's here? Old Master Li's attitude was much better than Li Qianxue's. Although he was no longer in charge, he knew a little bit about the basic matters of the group. He naturally knew that Su Qinghui had recently cooperated with the Li group. Let him in. After Su Qinghui entered the room, Old Master Li looked at him kindly. Qinghui, have you eaten? No. Su Qinghui glanced at Li Qianxue as he spoke. Li Qianxue sat there expressionlessly. She didn't even bat an eyelid. Su Qinghui looked at Li Qianxue eagerly. Nanny Zhang took out a bowl and chopsticks and asked Su Qinghui to sit down and eat. Thank you, Auntie Zhang. Su Qinghui was quite polite. He had always been like this. He had always been polite to the people who worked in the Li family. You're too polite, sir. Nanny Zhang liked Su Qinghui very much. She took out a soup bowl and filled it for Su Qinghui before returning to the kitchen. Li Qianxue tightened her grip on her chopsticks. She had the urge to kick Su Qinghui out, but she resisted the urge. Old Master Li looked at Su Qinghui. What brings you here today? I haven't played chess with Dad for a long time. I happened to get a good chessboard from a friend, so I wanted to come and see you. Yes. All right. Li Qianxue nodded. Let's eat first. He asked Su Qinghui to eat, but he didn't remind Su Qinghui to change his words. Li Qianxue found it hard to breathe. Dad. Eat. Old Master Li knew what she was going to say and glanced at her. Li Qianxue resisted the urge to smash the bowl and did not stand up to leave. Su Qinghui brought a jade cabinet with him. On the chessboard made of Hitian topaz, the warm black jade and the high-quality mutton fat jade had been carefully carved. Every chess piece had a very clear texture when held in the hand. My friend got this from a jade carving master. I know that you love to play chess, so I asked him to transfer it to me. Good. Not bad. Old Master Li loved to play chess, and he did have good chess pieces. But this set of chess pieces did look good. The jade was good, and the carving was good. Then, let's play a game. The two sat down and began to play chess. Li Qianxue stood behind the two of them and watched Old Master Li and Su Qinghui follow them. She felt a burst of anger in her heart. She glared at the two of them, turned around, and went upstairs without looking back. Su Qinghui picked up a white chess piece and put it on the chessboard. He looked at Li Qianxue's back from the corner of his eye, and his eyes were dark. Old Master Li put down a black chess piece. Although he was old, his eyes were very sharp. He saw Su Qinghui's eyes at a glance. Qinghui. How have you been? Li Qianxue returned to her room, still feeling annoyed. Lin City had entered the middle of summer. The weather was hot, and the atmosphere was hot. Su Qinghui, Su Qinghui. Li Qianxue constantly adjusted her breathing, trying to stop thinking about Su Qinghui's annoying smile. Half an hour later, Li Qianxue, who had taken a shower, had calmed down. She couldn't panic, and she couldn't be affected by Su Qinghui's actions. She picked up the book she had placed on the bedside table, walked to the chaise longue, and lay down to read. As for Su Qinghui, who cared about him? Once, we dreamed that we didn't know each other. When we woke up, we knew that we loved each other. Compared to this sentence, I prefer another one. Love, when you come over with a lit lamp of pain in your hand, I can see your face, and I see you as happiness. The sudden voice behind her startled Li Qianxue, and the book in her hand almost fell to the ground. Su Qinghui quickly grabbed the book and looked at the cover. The English edition of Stray Birds. I remember I brought it back from England. Li Qianxue took the book from his hand, and her cold face had a hint of coldness that kept people 1,000 miles away. I just took a random book. You don't need to interpret it too much. Su Qinghui stood beside the chaise longue and didn't speak. He looked at Li Qianxue with a faint smile on his face. How did you get in? Get out. This is my room. It used to be my room. Su Qinghui wasn't affected by her cold face at all. I sent Dad upstairs and told him that I was going back. Dad asked me to come over and say hello to you. No need. Li Qianxue realized that when she was downstairs, Su Qinghui must have said something to Old Master Li. Su Qinghui, don't think that you can bribe my father with a chess piece. Let me tell you, even if you bribe my father, it's useless. I won't forgive you. No matter who says it, I won't forgive you. Qianxue. Su Qinghui suddenly put a hand on the back of the chaise longue. He bent down and looked at her. You're very nervous. Nervous? What's there to be nervous about? Do I need to be nervous? It was ridiculous. Since you're not nervous, then I don't mind telling you. I have no intention of bribing Dad at all. I just know that he likes to play chess, so I gave him a chess piece. Su Qinghui's words were gentle. At his age, he had the steadiness and calmness that a young man didn't have. His eyes and his tone let Li Qianxue know that what he said was true. He really didn't need to please Old Master Li. Old Master Li wasn't someone who was easy to please. But the more this was the case, the more uncomfortable she felt. Turning away, she forced herself not to believe every word he said. Qianxue. Su Qinghui looked at the collection of stray birds that she was hugging tightly in her arms. He pulled the book back with a gentle gaze. I've said it before. I don't expect your forgiveness anymore. Putting the book aside, he placed his other hand by her side. This way, she was trapped between his body and the chair. You can never forgive me. This is your choice. I can also choose to love you for the rest of my life, whether you forgive me in the end or not, whether you give me a chance or not. Qianxue, loving you is my choice. Wanting to be by your side is my wish. All of this is just my own subjective will. It has nothing to do with you. So you don't have to be nervous. His hot breath brushed against her face. She was already so familiar with the aura that was deep in her bones. At this moment, she was completely surrounded. At this moment, Li Qianxue thought that she had returned to that afternoon many years ago. The young man who was confident and confident stood at the front desk of the conference room and spoke of his ideas. Her heart skipped a beat. The moment she heard her own heartbeat, Li Qianxue suddenly reached out her hand and pushed him hard. Have you said enough? If you have, I'll ask you to leave. The resistance on her face was even more obvious than before. Su Qinghui knew that he couldn't force her, and he wasn't in a hurry to make progress in one day. I'm leaving. Qianxue, remember to rest well. If you're not here, I can naturally rest well. Li Qianxue believed that with her status, she had reached the point of being very calm about everything. But every time she faced Su Qinghui, she would always lose her composure. This feeling wasn't good at all. As if to prove her words, Li Qianxue stood up and planned to walk towards the bed. Su Qinghui's body hadn't completely retreated. As soon as she stood up, she bumped into him. Su Qinghui took a step back, and she took a step forward. In order to prevent her from falling, he could only choose to hold her waist. This way, Li Qianxue's entire body was in his arms. He lowered his head and looked at Li Qianxue's beautiful face. After showering, her entire body was filled with the smell of rose-scented shower gel. She was only wearing a bathrobe, and her collar was slightly open. Looking at the scene at the collar, Su Qinghui's eyes darkened a little. Where are you looking? Li Qianxue raised her head angrily. Su Qinghui retracted his gaze and looked at her red lips that were slightly open because of her anger. Suddenly, he couldn't help but tilt his head and kiss her lips. Li Qianxue was shocked by his sudden action. She even forgot how to react for a moment. It was very soft. Su Qinghui remembered the kiss that stopped after a brief touch. But the memory wasn't as deep as it was in front of him. He exerted a little force and pressed forward a little. It was really soft and slightly sweet. He suddenly couldn't stop. The hand on his waist began to exert force, and he pressed her body into his arms. He tilted his head and deepened the contact. This kiss made him addicted. He couldn't help but want more, much more. Li Qianxue suddenly raised her hand and pushed him away forcefully. She took a big step back, gritted her teeth, and glared at Su Qinghui with fierce eyes. Su Qinghui. That's enough. What kind of person did he think she was? Not enough. Get out. Su Qinghui looked at her deeply. Okay. Li Qianxue thought that he was going to leave, but Su Qinghui took another step forward. He tilted his head and kissed her on the cheek. I'm leaving. Good night, Qianxue. He turned around and left, his footsteps slightly faster. Li Qianxue couldn't flare up even if she wanted to. She stood there, feeling even angrier. While she was angry, her mind couldn't help but flash back to the deep kiss just now. Her body was full of Su Qinghui's scent and the influence he left behind. Li Qianxue's expression was ugly. That night, she couldn't help but lose sleep again. Li Qianxue looked at Qin Pingyuan in front of her with a gloomy expression. She was now at the construction site of City Star. She came in the afternoon, and as expected, she didn't see Qin Pingyuan. She even deliberately waited until it was almost time to get off work, but she didn't see Qin Pingyuan. Li Qianxue's anger grew as she waited longer and longer. When Yang Rong informed Qin Pingyuan to come to the construction site, she waited for nearly an hour. Li Qianxue's expression was already extremely ugly. Supervisor Qin. Li Qianxue didn't even bother to call his name. Can you explain to me where you have been all afternoon? What did you do? Qin Pingyuan didn't expect to be caught red-handed by Li Qianxue, and his expression didn't look good. Qianxue, look, please call me President Li. Li Qianxue didn't give him any face. Qin Pingyuan's father was a little embarrassed. I can explain this. I did have something to do in the afternoon, so I didn't make it in time. Don't worry, I usually work hard to watch here. It's fine. Li Qianxue didn't say anything. She just stared at his face so intently that Qin Pingyuan himself avoided her gaze. Li Qianxue didn't intend to waste time with him. She turned around and looked at Yang Rong. Inform the finance department to pay him tomorrow. Qianxue, you can't do this, Qianxue. Qin Pingyuan called out a few times, but Li Qianxue didn't intend to look at him anymore. She turned around and walked to the back. Qin Pingyuan tried to chase after her, but he was blocked by Yang Rong and Xiao Zhao. Li Qianxue, you cold-blooded woman. We're relatives. Do you have to be so ruthless? Li Qianxue, I don't believe that you can find a better supervisor. Li Qianxue, there were waves of clamors behind her, but Li Qianxue pretended not to hear them. She walked on the construction site where the foundation had already been built. Her expression was calm. If you believe me, I have a good recommendation. The sudden voice made Li Qianxue turn her face. When she saw Su Qinghui standing in front of her, she was no longer surprised. Did you come here to see the result? No. I'm here to help you. Su Qinghui said a name. This person was also in the Li Corporation before. He only left for a period of time because of family matters. If you believe me, he will definitely be able to do it. Because of family matters. Li Qianxue looked at him expressionlessly. Didn't he leave because he wanted to follow you? Qianxue, do you think that when I left, Manager Lin and the others left because of me? Isn't that so? Qianxue, I'm not as despicable as you think. Su Qinghui seemed to be a little helpless. Those people were just used to doing things with him. But the person he was talking about today was indeed competent. You really can think about it. Su Qinghui. Li Qianxue suddenly became serious. Can you stay away from me? Don't approach her, don't provoke her, stay away from her, stay away. Chapter 733. Li Qianxue hated the feeling of things getting out of control. She liked to have everything in her hands. Su Qinghui's recent actions were far beyond her control. The golden crow sank to the west, and the night breeze blew gently. Li Qianxue didn't tie her hair up when she came out today. A few strands of hair flew forward from the back. Su Qinghui didn't respond to her. He raised his hand and gently tucked her hair behind her ear. Are you tired? You seem to have waited for a long time. Are you hungry? Want to have dinner together? Su Qinghui. Li Qianxue waved his hand away. I said, can you stay away from me? Su Qinghui's hand was in the air, and he gently put it down. He looked at her and said very seriously. I can't. My place is all yours. Su Qinghui pressed the position of his heart. It told me that if I stay away from you, it will die. Then you can go to hell. Li Qianxue was so angry that she blurted out without thinking. Su Qinghui's face darkened. At that moment, the air was dead silent. Su Qinghui stood there, as if he had fallen into darkness. After Li Qianxue said that, she fell silent. The air suddenly fell silent. The two of them stood in the night wind without saying a word. Li Qianxue looked down. Her watery eyes were misty, and no one could tell what she was thinking. Su Qinghui stood in front of him. He slowly lowered his hand, which had been in the air, and then clenched it into a fist. The phone rang and broke the silence. Li Qianxue answered the phone very quickly. Yusin. When Li Qianxue picked up the phone, she glanced at Su Qinghui, then turned around and walked to the other side. You're back. Didn't you say you had something to do at school? Why don't you let little Ian pick you up? Really, why didn't you tell me in advance? Although Li Qianxue's tone was filled with complaint, it was not difficult to hear the gentleness in it. Su Qinghui was standing not far from her. He felt complicated as he watched Li Qianxue talk to Su Yusin in such a gentle tone. He didn't know when Qianxue would speak to him in such a gentle voice. How much longer did he have to wait? All right. Mommy will be right back. Li Qianxue hung up the phone and walked toward the parking lot. Su Qinghui followed behind her. Yusin is back. Su Qinghui looked at Li Qianxue gently. Yes. Su Qinghui looked at her profile and suddenly said, Qianxue, I won't die. Li Qianxue's footsteps paused for a moment, but she immediately picked up her pace as if nothing had happened. She walked even faster than before. I still want to stay with you, whether you need it or not. I want to be with you forever. So I won't die. Su Qinghui looked at Li Qianxue, who had already walked to the front of the car. At least, before I see your true happiness, I won't die easily. What he hoped the most was that he was the one who brought her happiness. Li Qianxue, whose hand was already on the car door, suddenly turned to look at him because of his words. She narrowed her eyes and looked at him coldly. Su Qinghui, you brought all my misfortune to me. You really don't have the right to say that. Last night, Li Qianxue was happy because Su Yusin had gone home, so she chatted with him until it was too late. When she woke up in the morning, she accidentally overslept. When she went downstairs, she saw Su Qinghui and Su Yusin sitting in the living room playing chess. Old Master Li was sitting by the side watching the game. Li Qianxue got up early in the morning. Her happy mood because her son had returned home inexplicably disappeared at this time. She glanced at the three men and finally forced herself to turn in the direction of the dining room. During breakfast, the irritation in Li Qianxue's heart did not disappear. Instead, it became stronger. She wouldn't have such emotions before. In the past year, no matter how many times Su Qinghui appeared in front of her, she could be calm. But now, something seemed to be different. In the past, she didn't stop Su Qinghui from approaching the children, nor did she stop Su Yusin from approaching the two children. It didn't make sense for her to cut off the relationship between father and son now, did she? Such a thing went against her nature. She couldn't do it. But her heart was indeed very upset. Li Qianxue sat at the dining table, her brows tightly knitted. Su Qinghui, Su Qinghui. Is it so hard to get you out of my life? I really don't believe it. When Li Qianxue returned to the living room, Su Qinghui and Su Yusin had just finished a game. Su Qinghui was putting the chess pieces into the box. Old Master Li looked at his grandson. Yusin, have you been busy for more than half a year? I feel that your chess skills have regressed. It's not that I have regressed. It's that Dad has improved. Su Yusin put away the chess pieces with a faint smile on his face. Yusin may be too busy. Su Qinghui found an excuse for Su Yusin. He has to be busy with his studies. How can he have time to learn how to play chess? Yes, after all, not everyone is like you. You don't do your business and do other things every day. Li Qianxue couldn't bear to see Su Qinghui talk about Su Yusin, so she couldn't help but speak up. Su Qinghui put the last chess piece back into the chess box. He looked up at Li Qianxue. For me, getting you back is the most important thing. This sudden confession made Su Yusin and Old Master Li silent. The two of them couldn't help but look in Li Qianxue's direction. Li Qianxue was so stunned by Su Qinghui's words that she didn't know how to respond. Seeing the way her son looked at her, she spoke without thinking. Yusin, it's good that you're back. I'll take you into the company tomorrow. For the next few days, you can help me look after the company. Mom. Now that you're back, I'll have time to see your sister. Besides, I also want to follow Nian Nian and the others. Qianxue. Old Master Li looked at Li Qianxue disapprovingly. Li Qianxue didn't want to stay any longer. She went straight in the direction of the door. Su Yusin got up and wanted to chase after her. Su Qinghui pressed his shoulder, shook his head at him, and took the lead to follow. Li Qianxue's footsteps were very fast and anxious. Su Qinghui's steps were bigger than hers. When she reached the garden, he blocked her way. Qianxue. Qianxue. Get out of the way. The last thing Li Qianxue wanted to see now was Su Qinghui's face. I won't let you. Su Qinghui blocked her and didn't let her go any further. If you're unhappy with me, you can come at me. Why are you coming at Yusin? How did I come at Yusin? You're leaving just because he's back. What do you want Yusin to think? Who caused me to leave? Wasn't it you? Qianxue, be reasonable. You said that you wouldn't stop me from being close to the child. Yusin is my son. He's back, so it's normal for me to come to see him. Yes, it's normal, so you can go see him. I don't object. Li Qianxue took a step back, her eyes cold. You father and son have a good time seeing each other. I'll leave. Isn't that what you want? Qianxue, don't be like this. Su Qinghui didn't understand what Li Qianxue was angry about. You wouldn't vent your anger on me in the past. What's wrong with you? What's wrong with me? Didn't I learn from you? Li Qianxue actually knew that what she was doing was wrong. However, she saw Su Qinghui and Su Yusin sitting together playing chess, and Old Master Li watching from the side. At that moment, she actually had a feeling that nothing had changed, and everything was still the same as before. She actually had a feeling that she and Su Qinghui had never divorced. She was still his wife, and he was her husband. The Li family was still the same as before, and Su Qinghui was still the same as before. Everything was the same. She hated this feeling very much, so she didn't even think about it and said sarcastically, "Besides, didn't I learn from you? You hate me for forcing you to get married, so you took my child away. Aren't you also venting your anger on me? What right do you have to say that about me?" The morning sun shone on the two of them, but the atmosphere suddenly became silent, just like yesterday. Su Qinghui's face turned deathly pale because of Li Qianxue's words. He stood there, and even the sun couldn't make his face shine. Li Qianxue suddenly fell silent. She had finished speaking and fought back, but she didn't feel happy. She used to think that she was willing to use this method to attack Su Qinghui. She had been in so much pain, so she wanted to make him suffer even more. But she had clearly decided not to be that kind of person, and she wouldn't do that kind of thing. But why did she become like this now? Her heart was aching. Her heart felt as if it was being held by a hand, suffocating and suppressing. She couldn't stay any longer, so she raised her feet and was about to leave. However, Su Qinghui suddenly grabbed her hand at this moment. "Qianxue." Su Qinghui's grip on her wrist was a little tight, and she couldn't break free. She could only choose to turn her face away and not look at Su Qinghui. "I know, I did what I did. I made a mistake. No matter what I did or said, you won't forgive me. I also know that you don't want to see me." His heart ached as if it was being pierced by a needle. "Qianxue, you hate me, you won't forgive me, you don't want to see me. You hate me, you refuse to forgive me, you don't want to see me, it's all fine. But please don't vent your anger on me. Because I've vented my anger on you before, I know that venting your anger won't make people happier." For so many years, the pain of her nightmares, the regret when she was awake, and the conflict that she couldn't tell anyone. He knew all those emotions, so he didn't want her to be like him. "Qianxue. If you really don't want to see me, I can meet Yusin outside. You don't have to go. I'll go." As he spoke, he let go of his hand bit by bit. He looked at Li Qianxue. She stood there expressionlessly, still not looking at him. He smiled bitterly. Some things really couldn't be wrong. He turned around and left. His footsteps were extremely slow. Li Qianxue stood still and didn't even turn her head to look at him. Until Su Qinghui's figure disappeared into the garden. Since Su Qinghui didn't appear, Li Qianxue naturally didn't need to go to Su Qingsang's place in Rong City to avoid him. Li Qianxue was happy that her son was back, but she still had to do what she had to do. She brought Su Yusin to the company for an internship and handed some important matters to Su Yusin to deal with. She also let him know about some of the big projects that the company was currently working on. Among them was City Star. "This design is very good." Su Yusin looked at the construction site in front of him that was making good progress, and there was some admiration in his eyes. "Our team is still very impressive to be able to come up with such a plan." Li Qianxue's expression instantly became a little subtle. This plan was made by Su Qinghui. "Mom, who designed this? I want to meet him." Su Yusin was the person who was going to take over the company in the future. He needed to understand some of the company's main talents. "If I have the chance, I still want to go to the construction site to take a look." Li Qianxue's expression became even more subtle. Under Su Yusin's somewhat puzzled gaze, she pulled the document back from his hand. "This plan was made by your father." "Huh?" After Li Qianxue said that, she didn't want to say anything else. Su Yusin looked at her expression carefully. "So it's my father. But Dad and you, with the company, alright, that's all for today. If you want to go to the construction site, you can go in the afternoon. Li Qianxue didn't want to mention Su Qinghui anymore. Ever since she said those words in the garden that day and angered Su Qinghui away, she hadn't seen Su Qinghui again. In the past few days, not only did Su Qinghui not appear, but Luo Qing also stopped looking for him. She didn't know where Wei Ting had gone. Her world suddenly became very quiet. It was so quiet that she almost couldn't help but wonder if such silence had anything to do with Su Qinghui. I have an appointment with a friend in the afternoon. After I have dinner with my friend, I'll go to the construction site to take a look at it in the evening. What's there to see at night? Li Qianxue looked at Su Yusin with a disapproving expression. Just go and see it during the day. No, you can see it more clearly at night. Su Yusin stood up as he spoke. All right, Mom, you go ahead with your work. I'll go by myself after I see my friend. You. Li Qianxue had no choice. Remember to drive slowly. Don't drive fast. Got it. Su Yusin left. After he left, Li Qianxue wasn't in the mood to deal with the company. Su Qinghui's face flashed in her mind. Had he really decided not to appear again? That was all he could insist on. Fortunately, she didn't let down her guard. Li Qianxue convinced herself. After Li Qianxue went home for dinner that night, it started to rain outside. She looked at the time. At this time, Su Yusin should have finished his party with his friends. It was raining outside. Li Qianxue decided to call him and ask him to go home directly. There was no need to go to the construction site in such a heavy rain. The construction site could be seen at any time. There was no hurry. Unexpectedly, Li Qianxue called Su Yusin's phone, but no one answered. After that, she called several times, but no one answered. Suddenly, she couldn't sit still anymore. Qianxue. What's wrong? Old Master Li, who was also in the living room, was playing chess. Seeing his daughter's restless appearance, he couldn't help but ask. Nothing. Li Qianxue shook her head. She looked at the time and sat up. Dad, I'm going out for a while. You should rest later. Chapter 734. Li Qianxue still felt worried. He wanted to find Su Yusin in person. She didn't want him to really go to the construction site. Especially in this kind of weather, it was really not reassuring. It's raining so late. Where are you going? I'm going out for a while. Li Qianxue didn't want old Master Li to worry. She suddenly remembered that the weather forecast said that there would be a typhoon tonight. He could only blame the weather for being nice during the day, but it turned out like this at night. When she got in the car, she called Su Yusin again, but there was still no answer. Li Qianxue knew some of Su Yusin's classmates. However, it was not clear which classmates Su Yusin had gone out with tonight. She had no choice but to call a few of Su Yusin's classmates that she knew. But he still hadn't seen Su Yusin. Helpless, Li Qianxue asked Xiao Zhao to drive the car to the construction site. He felt a little regretful. She shouldn't be in a hurry to let Su Yusin take over the Li Group's affairs, although that would be Su Yusin's business sooner or later. What she regretted even more was her irresponsibility. The Li Group was now her responsibility. How could she let Su Yusin manage the Li Group just because Su Qinghui's appearance made her feel unsafe? This was not appropriate at all. She knew very well that this had nothing to do with Su Qinghui. But she couldn't help but vent her anger on him. The rain outside the car window was very heavy, and her heart became more and more anxious. It would be fine if Su Yusin was fine, but what if something happened to him? Li Qianxue didn't dare to think about it. She didn't dare to think about it at all. Both of them had been brought into this world by her hard work. Every one of her children was her treasure. She couldn't bear the thought of anything happening to any of the children. Forcing herself to throw those bad things out of her mind, the Leaf family was about an hour's drive away from City Star. It was still raining, and the car couldn't go fast. Li Qianxue was even more anxious. Drive faster, Li Qianxue instructed Xiao Zhao. Xiao Zhao glanced at her from the rearview mirror. He wanted to say that the rain was heavy and it was not suitable to drive fast, but how could Li Qianxue listen to him? He had no choice but to speed up. Unexpectedly, the night was not dark, and there were not many cars on the road. Although Little Zhao was Little Zhao, he was also an experienced driver. He had just slowed down the car at the turn in front, but he didn't know that there was a yellow light at the other end of the turn. There was a car on the other side of the road that wanted to break through, and it happened to hit their car. Before Xiao Zhao could react, another car in front of them was disrupted by the sudden accident, and the car crashed into them again. The two cars collided together. No matter how good Little Zhao's driving skills were, he couldn't help but panic. He turned the steering wheel to the other side as fast as he could, but the road was too slippery because of the rain. The car slid out and hit the guardrail on the side. At the same time, the car behind crashed into them, and the car in front. It was chaos. When Su Qinghui received the news and rushed to the hospital, he felt as if someone had grabbed his heart. He had difficulty breathing and rushed into the hospital, but he didn't have any more reason. Every time he caught a person, he would ask where Li Qianxue was. His car was parked outside in the parking lot, and there was an open space in the middle. He rushed in directly. His hair was still wet, but he didn't care at all. He finally rushed in the direction of the operating room. When he saw the light in the operating room, Su Qinghui's legs went soft. Qianxue, Qianxue. There was no sign of Li Qianxue in the corridor. He was the first to receive the news. Now the corridor was empty, and he had no idea what was going on. He took out his phone and wanted to make a call. Su Yusin received the news and came over. For the time being, no one had informed Old Master Li. Su Yusin looked at Su Qinghui, his face full of anxiety. "Dad, how is Mom?" "I don't know." Su Qinghui's whole body revealed a great sense of powerlessness. He leaned against the wall dejectedly. His whole body was like an eggplant that had been hit by frost. How could such a thing happen? Su Yusin looked at the light in the operating room. When he received the call, he was about to go home after a party with his friends. He didn't answer Li Qianxue's call because he left his phone in the car. However, he didn't expect Li Qianxue to run out to look for him because she was worried about him. For a moment, Su Yusin's expression was quite ugly. Su Qinghui curled up there. He didn't know what he was thinking. He only knew that he was very wrong now, very bad. He suddenly walked in front of Su Yusin and looked at him with a serious face. "Your mother will be fine, right?" Su Yusin had never seen Su Qinghui like this. He didn't know the situation, and he didn't know how to answer. "You say, Qianxue will be fine, right? She will be fine. Right?" He asked 3 times in a row, and each time his tone was a little more intense than before. Su Yusin looked at him like this and couldn't say anything. He could only shake his head hard. Yes, she will be fine. He still had so many things he hadn't done for her. He hadn't accompanied her as she slowly grew old. He hadn't let her know his true feelings. How could something happen to her? No, definitely not. The lights in the operating room were still on. Su Qinghui's heart had been hanging in the air, floating in the air, unable to land. Until a cell phone rang. Su Yusin quickly took out his cell phone and found that it was Li Qianxue's number calling him. He quickly picked it up. "Mom. Are you okay?" Li Qianxue's voice was very soft and weak. "I'm fine." "Yusin, where are you? Haven't you gone home yet?" "I'm in the hospital." "Mom, where are you?" "I'm in the hospital too." Su Chenghui and Su Yusin looked at each other. A minute later, the father and son rushed downstairs together. Downstairs, Li Qianxue was sitting in a wheelchair. Her hand was in a cast and she was downstairs outside the operating room. Su Chenghui and Su Yusin rushed over in a hurry. Especially Su Chenghui. When he heard that there was a car accident, he thought it was Li Qianxue. He rushed upstairs to the operating room. However, Li Qianxue was downstairs outside the operating room. The one in the operating room was not her, but Xiao Zhao. The car was hit. Because of Xiao Zhao, he tried to make the side where Li Qianxue was sitting face a safer and emptier direction. However, when the front and back of the car were hit, he was not so lucky. He was seriously injured and was still being resuscitated. As for Li Qianxue, because of Xiao Zhao's timely reaction, her hand was hit on the car door. Her foot was caught. Her foot was only sprained and bruised. However, because of the reaction force, her hand was fractured. Therefore, her left hand was in a heavy cast, and because of the bruise on her foot, she could only sit in a wheelchair. Su Chenghui couldn't see the cast on her body, nor could he see her sitting in a wheelchair. He quickly rushed over and hugged Li Qianxue. He hugged her very hard, very tightly, as if he wanted to rub her into his body. "Qianxue, Qianxue," the huge sense of fear made Su Chenghui's voice tremble. He had never thought that he might lose Li Qianxue one day. He had always thought that he would have many opportunities and a lot of time. "Qianxue, it's great that you're okay." He suddenly let go of his hand and took a step back. He looked Li Qianxue up and down. "Are you okay? What happened to your hand?" "I'm fine." Li Qianxue was hurt by Su Chenghui just now. If she hadn't moved her hand quickly, she would have been in pain. "How can you be fine? How can you be fine? Your hand is like this. And your foot. How is your foot? Is it serious? Did you hurt your bones?" He asked a lot of questions in one breath. Su Yusin, who came with him, didn't have a chance to speak. "Has the doctor arranged a ward? Did he say how long he will stay in the hospital?" Su Chenghui seemed to have thought of something. He turned around and looked at Su Yusin. "Yusin, hurry up and finish the procedures." Su Yusin looked at Li Qianxue worriedly. After confirming that her life was indeed not in danger, he turned around and went to finish the procedures. Li Qianxue sat in the wheelchair and looked at the fear in Su Chenghui's eyes. This was the first time she had seen this emotion in Su Chenghui's eyes. She seemed to look at him in confusion. Was he afraid? "Qianxue." Su Chenghui checked Li Qianxue up and down. She looked a little disheveled. Her hair was messy, and her clothes were stained with blood. Her feet were bandaged, and her hands were still in a cast. She really couldn't be more disheveled. "Where else are you hurt? Where else does it hurt? Tell me. Where's the doctor? Did the doctor just leave you here and leave you alone?" Su Chenghui. Li Qianxue glanced at him and interrupted him. "Can you not speak for a while?" In fact, she was also scared. She didn't see the car behind her when it crashed, but she saw the car in front of her and Xiao Zhao's car hit the railing. Even if the wind and rain were heavy, she could definitely see it at such a close distance. She still hadn't recovered from her shock. Okay, I won't speak." Su Yusin stopped talking, but his heart didn't relax. He was very afraid, very afraid. He reached out, avoided Li Qianxue's injured hand, and held her in his arms. He was more restrained than before, but he was still very tight. Li Qianxue's brows furrowed slightly. She wanted to push him away, but one of her hands was injured. Her right hand was not injured. She raised it, but then put it down. She didn't move, and he didn't stop either. He just let her hug him. The corridor was very quiet. Su Qinghui's heart had been hanging in the air until now. With her soft body in his arms and the slight warmth, he felt that his heart finally relaxed a little. Qianxue, Qianxue. Qianxue. He buried his face in her neck. It's great that you're fine. It was really great. Li Qianxue wanted him to get up, but she looked at the top of her head in front of her and didn't say anything. Su Qinghui hugged her for a while and suddenly raised his head. Is that Xiao Xiao inside? Yes. Li Qianxue nodded gently and looked at the operating theater that was still lit. She didn't know how Xiao Xiao was doing. You're still injured. Su Qinghui saw that Su Qinghui was already coming over. He looked at the time. You should rest first. No need. She wanted to wait here for the results to see if Xiao Xiao was okay. Qianxue. Her stubbornness sometimes really gave him a headache. Don't be noisy. I want to wait here. If she hadn't suddenly wanted to go out, Xiao Xiao wouldn't have, okay. Su Qinghui knew that he couldn't persuade her, so he hugged her tighter. Wait, I'll wait with you. Li Qianxue didn't let him push her away. When Su Yusin came back, she asked Su Yusin to go home, but Su Yusin refused. In the end, the three of them waited together. The surgery went on for a few hours. Finally, the doctor came out and said that Xiao Xiao's life was out of danger. In the future, he would have to rest well. Li Qianxue finally heaved a sigh of relief and was relieved. Xiao Xiao was transferred to the intensive care unit, while Li Qianxue was forced back to the ward by Su Qinghui to let her rest. She was indeed tired. Previously, she thought that something had happened to Su Yusin, so she was already worried. She didn't expect that she would have to do something like this again. She was indeed tired now. However, before she could react, Su Qinghui had already picked her up and placed her on the hospital bed. Then, he covered her with the blanket. Sleep. I'll watch over you, he said. Li Qianxue glanced at him and finally turned her face away. She looked at the rain that was still falling outside the window and closed her eyes in silence. When Li Qianxue woke up, the room was a little dark. She didn't know where she put her phone after making that call. She wanted to reach for her phone to check the time, but someone had already held her hand. Qianxue. You're awake. How do you feel now? Li Qianxue used the light bulb outside to suddenly see the situation in front of her clearly. You didn't leave. I told you, I'll stay with you. I'll always stay with you. Su Qinghui didn't say anything else, but both of them could understand what he was saying. Li Qianxue looked at him and seemed to be inadvertently asking, Where's Yusin? He stayed with you for half the night. I asked him to go back first. I'll ask Auntie Zhang to make some soup for you later. After a moment of silence, Li Qianxue thought for a moment. How's Xiao Xiao? Is he okay? He's fine. He woke up once before. I went to see him. Don't worry. Su Qinghui held her uninjured right hand and said very seriously, Qianxue, your injury isn't light either. Don't worry about others for now. Have a good rest first. Li Qianxue withdrew her hand and shifted her gaze to the side. She didn't look at Su Qinghui. Su Qinghui, you don't have to do this. Qianxue. Su Qinghui held her hand and looked into her eyes very seriously. I don't have to do what? Are you trying to say that I don't have to stay with you? Or do you mean that I don't have to accompany you? Qianxue, don't say any more. I won't listen to you. He lowered his head and planted a kiss on the back of her hand. Su Qinghui, who had been cold for almost half his life, could no longer be as indifferent as before. Qianxue. You don't know how scared I was last night. You also don't know how worried I was last night. So, I won't leave. I want to stay with you and watch over you. Qianxue, I can't be without you. Li Qianxue felt the warmth on her hand and saw the sincerity in his eyes. Chapter 735. Li Qianxue didn't sleep for long. She was a person who couldn't sleep when she had something on her mind. Not to mention that she was injured now and had a cast on her hand. If she was still a little confused when she first woke up, she was basically awake now. She was clearly awake, and she knew that the most important thing she should do at this moment was to pull back her hand and slap Su Qinghui to get out. However, at this moment, she actually didn't do anything. All she could think of was the fear when the car was hit by the guardrail. She almost thought that she would die. The only thing she could think of was the fear that the doctor said that she was fine. He just bandaged her and put a cast on her so that she could rest. Before she could escape from that fear, he appeared. He hugged her tightly, warmed her, and let her know that she wasn't alone. In the past 20 years, Li Qianxue hadn't looked forward to this day every day. She hadn't thought about it every day, hoping that Su Qinghui would respond to her and give her a shoulder when she was tired. But he hadn't. However, she didn't expect that this year, more than a year after their divorce, Su Qinghui would hug her tightly and warm her with his chest. Does your hand hurt? She didn't respond. Su Qinghui was a little worried. Does your hand hurt? Do you want to call the doctor? Su Qinghui seemed to think of something and frowned. Hungry. I asked Yusin to go home and ask Auntie Zhang to cook. It might be a little far. Wait a while. The food in the hospital isn't delicious. Li Qianxue didn't respond again. She looked at Su Qinghui, who was like a person in a dream, and felt that it was extremely unreal. Qianxue. Li Qianxue seemed to suddenly react. She turned her face and looked out the window at the still gloomy sky. There are nurses in the hospital. Since Yusin will come later, there's nothing for you to do here. You can go. Are you chasing me away? Su Qinghui didn't expect Li Qianxue to turn against him as soon as she woke up. Yes. I'm chasing you away. Li Qianxue's voice was cold. I seem to have said before that I don't want to see you. He purposely lowered his voice and spoke in a cold tone. And she could easily put on a cold face. She rejected Su Qinghui. She didn't want the man who had made her dream and woke up from it. She turned around to look at the back view outside the window, aloof and cold. Her entire person gave off a feeling of being 1,000 miles away. There was silence behind her. Li Qianxue thought that Su Qinghui had left. However, she felt the bed move, and then her body was gently embraced by someone. Su Qinghui hugged her from behind and rested his chin on her neck. His hands encircled her waist. Qianxue. His voice was husky and magnetic. His hot breath was on her neck, and she couldn't help but shrink her neck. I'm not leaving. I will stay and take care of you until you recover. He looked at her porcelain-like neck and tilted his head. His warm lips landed on it. Li Qianxue was clearly not a little girl, but because of his kiss, she felt her entire body stiffen and tremble. After you recover, I won't leave either. I won't leave even if you drive me away. I want to watch you. I want you to be in front of me at all times. I want to keep an eye on you. Otherwise, I won't be at ease. Chinchue. At my age, I don't care about face anymore. I don't care about what else I will lose. But I'm afraid of losing you. Do you know? Li Chinchue didn't dare to move at all. Her body was very stiff. She even felt weak all over, and her limbs felt like jelly. Just because of a hug and a kiss from him. It's done. Su Qinghui finally let go of her, held her waist, and let her lie down. He then took a pillow from the side and placed it on her back. You rest for a while. I'll go get water. Su Qinghui got up and went to get water. He soon returned, took a towel, put the warm water in, and came out to wipe Li Chinchue's face. His movements were very gentle, as if he was wiping some treasure. Li Chinchue watched his movements. This time, she didn't ask him to leave. She wanted to tell him to get lost and say that there was a nurse, but those words had already been said. She turned her face and forced herself not to care, not to look, and not to care. However, there seemed to be a warm current in her heart that slowly poured into the depths of her heart. When Su Yusin entered the door, he felt that his parents' state seemed to be a little strange. He stopped and looked at the two people in the ward. After waiting for a while, he went in and put down the lunchbox in his hand. Auntie Zhang and Old Master Li were downstairs and would come up soon. He didn't intend to let Old Master Li know, but such a big thing couldn't be hidden at all. Mom, are you okay? Li Chinchue withdrew her gaze. When she saw Su Yusin, her face relaxed a little. Yusin, you're here. As she spoke, she glared at Su Qinghui with a fierce gaze. Su Qinghui's hand was originally on Li Chinchue, but he still stood by the bed and didn't intend to leave. Yes. Su Yusin thought for a moment and decided to tell Li Chinchue. Grandpa is downstairs. He's here too. Why are you so insensible? Li Chinchue suddenly became anxious. Grandpa is so old. How can you let him run around? He'll find out sooner or later. Su Yusin put the lunchbox on the bedside table. It's not just Grandpa. I also know. I'm booking a plane ticket and rushing here. What? Li Chinchue really couldn't sit still this time. She sat up straight. The movement was so big that it even tore the wound on her arm. How can you tell your sister? The two children were still so young now. Was Su Qingsang going to bring the children to Lin City? How could she rest assured if she didn't bring them to Lin City? I said it. He'll find out sooner or later. As Su Qinghui spoke, he opened the lunchbox. Don't you think about it? Mom has to video chat with sister every day. How can we hide it? Then I can say that I went on a business trip. Mom, stop it. No matter where you go every day, you have to call and video chat with us. Have you forgotten? Li Chinchue was silent. Su Qinghui pressed her shoulder at the right time. Okay, the children are just concerned about you. I don't want you to say it. Of course I know. Li Chinchue glared at Su Qinghui. Her face looked fierce, but her voice was very soft. Su Qinghui smiled with a gentle expression. Su Yusin looked at the way the two of them interacted and put the soup in front of Li Chinchue. Mom, drink some soup first. Breakfast is still in Nanny Zhang's hands. She should be up soon. Li Chinchue was just about to reach out to take it when Su Qinghui reached out at the right time and put the bowl of soup in his hand. Let me do it. He sat down by the bed and took the spoon to feed Li Chinchue. Li Chinchue's lips were pursed into a straight line. Your hand is injured. It's not convenient. My right hand is not injured. That's not convenient either. Su Qinghui scooped the soup and put it to Li Qianxue's lips. Open your mouth. Li Qianxue looked at the patience in Su Qinghui's eyes. After a few seconds of stalemate, she finally opened her mouth. There was a faint smile in Su Qinghui's eyes, as if feeding her soup could make him happy. He was at the most charming time for a man. He didn't have the immaturity of those young and handsome men. He also lacked the shrewdness that a man in his 30s had. He was mature and steady, exuding an elegant temperament. And the way he looked at her was gentle and affectionate. Li Qianxue's heart skipped a beat again. She was like a little girl who had her first awakening of love. Her heart was beating fast. Her face inexplicably felt a little hot. Qianxue, are you okay? Old Master Li's energetic voice came from outside the door. Li Qianxue was about to speak. Old Master Li had already rushed into the ward. Qianxue. Dad, I'm fine. Li Qianxue tried to smile. Look at me. Aren't I fine? Your hands and feet are broken. How can you call that fine? Old Master Li had heard that she had been in a car accident early in the morning. Only now did he see his daughter's appearance. Her hands were cast, and her feet were bandaged. Old Master Li's face was a little ugly. How could you get into a car accident? Where's Xiao Zhao? How is he? Xiao Zhao hasn't woken up yet. Li Qianxue had asked about Xiao Zhao's situation just now. The doctor said that the anesthesia hasn't worn off yet. He might wake up later. It's good that he's fine. Old Master Li's eyes were full of worry. If there's another situation like yesterday, you're not allowed to go out again. Dad, I know. Li Qianxue was also worried yesterday. The father and daughter were talking happily, and Su Qinghui didn't leave. He placed the breakfast that Nanny Zhang brought out and walked to Li Qianxue. Come, have breakfast. I'll do it myself, I'll do it. Su Qinghui was very stubborn, and Li Qianxue felt embarrassed. But he didn't give her a chance to refuse. After all, her left hand was still in a cast. Old Master Li was worried about Li Qianxue just now, so he didn't pay much attention to others. Only now did he realize that Su Qinghui was here. Qinghui. Why are you here? After all, it seemed that Su Qinghui hadn't been to the Li family for a while. He had thought, Dad. Su Qinghui didn't stop moving his hands. I heard that Qianxue had a car accident yesterday, so I came over. Li Qianxue was a little embarrassed. She wanted Su Qinghui to let her eat by herself. However, Su Qinghui was very domineering. Your hand is injured. I'll feed you. Old Master Li looked at Su Qinghui and then at Li Qianxue. Dad, don't mind me. Qianxue's hand is injured, so it's not convenient. Su Qinghui said it casually, but it was this casual tone that made Old Master Li and the others feel that the relationship between the two had broken through. Dad. Li Qianxue knew what Old Master Li meant as soon as she saw his expression. She wanted to explain, but Su Qinghui fed her an egg. She had to swallow the egg in her mouth, so naturally, she couldn't speak. Dad, I'll take care of Qianxue here. You guys can go back first. Su Qinghui glanced at Su Yusin as he spoke. Yusin, go to work at the company. Your mother should have taught you. You have to work hard. Got it. Then I'll leave first. Su Yusin wanted to stay. However, in this situation, she would definitely be a third wheel if she stayed. Mom, I'm leaving. Yusin. Li Qianxue wanted to stop him, but Su Yusin waved his hand, took the car key, and left. Since you're fine, I'll go see Xiao Zhao. Old Master Li also turned around. I asked Auntie Zhang to prepare a bowl of soup for him. I'll bring it to him now. Dad. Li Qianxue wanted to speak, but old Master Li also left. Suddenly, only Li Qianxue and Su Qinghui were left in the ward. She glared at Su Qinghui, almost glaring a hole in his face. Don't be angry. Su Qinghui looked at her. Don't you think that Dad and Yusin are very understanding? I don't think so. Li Qianxue looked at him coldly. Su Qinghui, you're really good. He had won his son and father over to his side and had both of them help him. Wasn't that really good? Qianxue. Su Qinghui put the bowl in his hand aside. I'd rather I was really good. In that case, you would give me a little more chance. Don't even think about it. Li Qianxue was furious. I won't give you a chance. It's okay. Su Qinghui didn't refute. As long as I can accompany you, I'll be very happy. Sweet words. Sweet words are only used on you. Li Qianxue felt that her teeth were a little sore. Stop, use your sweet words on other women. I only want to say them to you. Li Qianxue felt that her teeth were starting to ache. Stop talking. I want to sleep. She didn't sleep well last night. She needed to sleep for a while. Okay, you go to sleep. I'll accompany you. Who wants you to accompany me? Li Qianxue was stubborn. In the end, she didn't chase Su Qinghui out. Su Qinghui held the back of her waist and let her sleep. Seeing that her breathing gradually stabilized, he got up and went outside to make a phone call to explain some work matters. The Qianhui group had just been established, so Su Qinghui was actually very busy. However, no matter how busy he was, he had to put Li Qianxue first. After talking to Qiao Ran for a long time, he arranged some of the main work and told him that he didn't have time recently. After hanging up the phone, Su Qinghui seemed to have thought of something. He made a few more phone calls. He thought that Li Qianxue wouldn't wake up so soon, so he waited for everything to be arranged before returning to the ward. Unexpectedly, Li Qianxue wasn't the only one in the ward. Wei Ting was also standing by the bed. Seeing that it was him, Su Qinghui's face suddenly darkened. Wei Ting didn't come empty-handed. It was a coincidence. He happened to have something to look for Li Qianxue today. Unexpectedly, when he went to Li Qianxue's company, Li Qianxue didn't come. Not only did she not come, but Li Qianxue's secretary also told him that Li Qianxue had a car accident and wouldn't come to the company for a while. How could Wei Ting sit still now? He quickly rushed to the hospital. Before coming to the hospital, he didn't forget to buy a large bouquet of roses and some high-end nutrition products suitable for the patient. Wei Ting didn't turn around when he felt Su Qinghui's footsteps coming in behind him. He even deliberately told Li Qianxue, his face full of concern. Qianxue, how's your hand? Does it hurt? Li Qianxue didn't feel any pain just now, but now that she saw the two men crowded in this ward, she really felt the pain. Chapter 736. The atmosphere in the ward was a little strange. Li Qianxue's hand was injured. When Wei Ting brought the roses in, she couldn't reach out to take them. After all, Wei Ting had always been exaggerated. Every time he sent flowers, he would send a large bouquet of roses. Wei Ting was still holding a large bouquet of roses in his hand. His body was half bent, obviously wanting Li Qianxue to take the flowers. Li Qianxue didn't have the ability to take such a large bouquet of flowers with one hand. Just as she didn't know how to refuse, Su Qinghui came in. As soon as Su Qinghui came in, he saw the large bouquet of roses. He narrowed his eyes, but his expression didn't change. He calmly stepped forward and walked to Wei Ting's side. Taking the bouquet of flowers from his hand, Su Qinghui casually placed the flowers on the bedside table. However, he found that there were fruits and cups on it. He turned around and casually placed the flowers on the coffee table in the ward. Then, he walked to the other side of the bed and stood beside Li Qianxue. One of his hands didn't forget to place on Li Qianxue's shoulder. Only then did he look at Wei Ting. President Wei is very considerate. Thank you for coming to see Qianxue. Wei Ting's expression wasn't good. From the moment he saw Su Qinghui to when he took the roses from her hand, his expression was ugly. President Su is also very considerate. I just don't know why Qianxue is injured. Naturally, I have to take care of her. Su Qinghui smiled faintly. He looked at the unhappy expression on Wei Ting's face, and his expression immediately eased. Ever since Wei Ting was rejected by Li Qianxue last time, he had been very depressed. Other than being depressed, there was nothing he could do. After all, Li Qianxue wasn't a young girl who had just come out of society, nor was she an impulsive love brain. She was calm, rational, and mature. She had her own set of rules. If he accidentally stepped on her line, she would definitely not give him the slightest chance. This was also why he stubbornly appeared, even though he knew that if he didn't appear for a period of time, Li Qianxue would completely forget about him. However, he didn't expect that he only wanted Li Qianxue to calm down for a few days and give her a buffer period. He was also thinking of ways to get close to Li Qianxue, but Su Qinghui had already beaten him to it. President Su, are you taking advantage of me? Taking advantage of others? Su Qinghui smiled. What does it have to do with you? As he spoke, he placed his hands on Li Qianxue's shoulders to assert his dominance. Wei Ting gritted his teeth and turned to look at Li Qianxue. Qianxue. His voice was full of grievance, but Li Qianxue only felt a headache. She really didn't have any more thoughts about Wei Ting. At most, she thought of this man as a little brother. After all, she was an only child and had no other siblings. Wei Ting, thank you for coming to see me. I'll look for you when I'm free. Is that okay? Li Qianxue clearly felt the hand on her shoulder tighten a little. Su Qinghui. That's enough. Qianxue. Wei Ting didn't want to. I don't want to go. I want to stay and take care of you. Wei Ting. Stop messing around. She had asked Su Qinghui to stay partly because she was impulsive. However, Wei Ting also stayed behind. What was going on? I'm not messing around. Wei Ting was arguing with Su Qinghui. Why can he stay and take care of you? Why can't I? I don't care. I want to stay and take care of you. President Wei, you seem to have misunderstood something. Su Qinghui had already let go. He wrapped his arms around Li Qianxue's shoulders. Qianxue is my wife and the mother of my child. It's my duty to take care of her. What's your identity? What's my identity? I'm Qianxue's suitor. As for you and Qianxue are divorced. Why? Do you still think you can tie Qianxue up? Stop dreaming. Qianxue told me that she won't get back together with you. It's useless for you to act obedient here. Whether I act obedient or not has nothing to do with you, President Wei. As for whether Qianxue will get back together with me, that's not important. What's important is that she has already promised me today to stay and take care of her. He tilted his head to the side and looked at Li Qianxue affectionately. Qianxue, don't you think so? Li Qianxue looked at him and saw that he had made Wei Ting's face turn green. However, she didn't want to give him face. Just as she wanted to refute, the door of the ward opened again. This time, the person who came in was Old Master Li. He had already gone to see Xiao Zhao and hired 2 nurses to take care of Xiao Zhao. He also asked someone to keep an eye on Xiao Xiao. Once he woke up, he had to inform him in time. The old master was very concerned about the people who worked in the Li family. After he finished explaining everything, Xiao Xiao's family also rushed over. Xiao Xiao worked in Lin City, and his family was in another city. Old Master Li said a few more words to Xiao Xiao's wife before coming over. He didn't expect to see a young man the moment he arrived. He took a look and felt that this young man looked a little familiar, as if he had seen him somewhere before. Dad! You haven't gone back yet. Li Qianxue thought that old Master Li had already gone home. She didn't expect that he hadn't. I didn't go back. Old Master Li shook his head. I went to see Xiao Xiao and was about to go back. Hello, uncle. When Wei Ting heard that he was Li Qianxue's father, he immediately stood up straight. I'm Wei Ting. I'm here to see Qianxue. By the way, I'm Qianxue's suitor. As soon as he said this, Su Qinghui and Li Qianxue's expressions changed at the same time. Old Master Li was already old, but his eyes were still sharp. Because of Wei Ting's words, he sized him up from head to toe. You're Wei Ting. Yes. I remember you. You've worked with our Li Corporation before, right? Yes. We've been working together since last year. Wei Ting didn't expect the old master to remember him and even take the initiative to talk to him. His spirit suddenly changed. Old Master Li nodded and didn't go along with Wei Ting's words. Are you pursuing Qianxue? Yes. Wei Ting's answer was especially loud. Ha, young man. Do you really know what you're doing? After all, Qianxue, uncle, in my heart, Qianxue is perfect and impeccable. She's the most perfect woman. I know what I'm doing. I don't care if she has children, if she's divorced, and I don't care if she's a grandmother or not. Old Master Li hadn't finished speaking yet. Wei Ting had only said so much. There was no need to say the rest of his words. Waving his hand, old Master Li looked at him and couldn't help but laugh. You've thought about everything. Of course, I have to think about everything. Old Master Li nodded, looked at Wei Ting, then looked at Su Qinghui, and finally waved his hand. All right then, since you're so determined. I'll test you too. Come with me. Oh, Wei Ting pointed at his nose. Me? What? Don't you want to marry my daughter? Don't you dare to accept my test? Of course not. Wei Ting suddenly became energetic. He stood even straighter than before. Uncle, just tell me what your test is. Let's go. As old Master Li spoke, he had already started to walk outside. Before leaving, he didn't forget to say goodbye to Li Qianxue and said that he would go home first. After all, there were nurses and Su Qinghui here. He wouldn't be of much use even if he stayed. Wei Ting took a step behind him and suddenly turned around. He ignored Su Qinghui's gloomy expression and Li Qianxue's stunned reaction. He reached out and pinched Li Qianxue's hand, his face full of anticipation and excitement. Qianxue, Qianxue. Did you hear that? Your father has approved of me. Ha ha ha. Don't worry, I will definitely pass your father's test. Li Qianxue's lips moved. Before she could say anything, Wei Ting let go of her hand. Qianxue, wait for me. I will definitely pass the test. After saying this, he gave Su Qinghui a provocative look, then hurriedly left the ward and followed old Master Li. The ward became quiet again. Su Qinghui's expression was very ugly. Li Qianxue was also confused by this sudden turn of events. What was the old master doing? What kind of test was this? Seriously, when did she say that she wanted to develop a relationship with Wei Ting? His body was suddenly turned around by Li Qianxue. He looked at her with an extremely serious expression. Li Qianxue, you don't really want to give Wei Ting a chance, do you? Why not? Su Chenghui looked at the provocation that flashed across her face. He lowered his head and kissed her lips with precision. Li Qianxue's eyes widened, as if she couldn't believe Su Chenghui's actions. He didn't stop kissing her. He placed one hand on the back of her waist and the other on the back of her head. He turned her entire body around and deepened the kiss. Every time he kissed Li Qianxue, his heart would be greatly shaken. That kind of compatibility, that kind of satisfaction. He regretted it more than once. He must have been a fool for the past 20 years. Otherwise, how could he ignore such sweet lips and such a beautiful and charming wife? The more he thought about it, the more anxious he couldn't help but become. His kiss also became more and more passionate. After Li Qianxue's initial surprise, she couldn't push the person in front of her away. One of her hands was injured, and the other hand was tightly trapped because Su Chenghui was holding her. She was injured and couldn't use much strength. She couldn't push Su Chenghui away, so she could only let him kiss her. At first, she was a little resistant, but later, she found that she slowly relaxed. Her body weakly snuggled into his arms and let him kiss her. No matter how many years it had been, it was always like this. In his arms, she wasn't the strong woman in the business world. Nor was she the calm and self-restrained Li Qianxue. Her gentleness made Su Chenghui more and more irresistible. If it weren't for the fact that she was injured, he wouldn't have doubted that he would have gone further. But it was good now. He still knew what it meant to stop. Qianxue, Qianxue. He stopped the kiss, but he didn't let go of her. He hugged her with a gentle and irresistible force. I know I'm not qualified, but I really hope that you won't give other men a chance. You can call me selfish, or you can call me a scumbag, but this is my hope. I hope that you're mine. It's just mine. I also hope that if possible, you will give this chance to me. I will prove that I can do it too. Before he could finish his sentence, Li Qianxue suddenly pushed him away gently. She turned her face sideways, and her lips were still a little delicate. She stared straight at Su Chenghui's face. Su Chenghui, what if I'm with another man? Su Chenghui was suddenly stunned. Who are you to me? We're already divorced. You have nothing to do with me, so why should I listen to you? What does your hope have to do with me? You have the right to take it back, and I have the freedom to refuse. I allowed you to appear here not because I forgave you, but because I don't have the energy right now. So, if I really decide to give Wei Ting a chance, or even be with him, what will you do? Her series of questions made Su Chenghui almost speechless. He just stared at Li Qianxue. Su Chenghui, what will you do then? Su Chenghui was silent. He looked at Li Qianxue with a slightly pale face. He wanted to tell her not to, but he wanted to say that he could actually do it well. He had a lot to say, but at this moment, he couldn't say a single word. Li Qianxue gave other men a chance. Li Qianxue was with other men. He couldn't accept the thought of this. But he knew that what Li Qianxue said was right. He had no right to object. They were already divorced. Qianxue. You can go. Not long after Li Qianxue lay down, she was woken up by Wei Ting. She hadn't rested much yet. I'm going to sleep. She didn't borrow Su Chenghui's strength and carefully moved down. She avoided the injuries on her hands and feet and slowly lay down. Just as she was about to close her eyes, she heard Su Chenghui's unstable breathing and a voice that sounded even deeper than before. If you really want to be with another man, I don't know what will happen. However, I will still protect you and watch you. I will always be with you and witness your happiness with my own eyes. Li Qianxue didn't move. Her eyes rolled, but she didn't open them. Even though that will make me extremely painful. As long as you're happy, it's fine. She felt her hand being held by someone. She resisted the urge to open her eyes and look at Su Qinghui. She felt his lips on the back of her hand. Qianxue, I hope you're happy, and I also hope that your happiness is given by me. If it really doesn't work, I can only bless you. Qianxue, I only hope that you won't make a decision in a hurry. No matter what, you're still injured. Let me take care of you. After saying that, he stood up in a hurry, not caring about Li Qianxue's reaction. He turned around and walked out with the hot water bottle. I'll go get some water. He couldn't even listen to her subsequent words of rejection. Su Qinghui thought that he was really becoming more and more useless. Li Qianxue opened her eyes after he left. She looked at his back as he left and the ward that was immediately closed. Her expression was unclear. On this day, Li Qianxue's ward could be considered lively. At first, it was Wei Ting, then it was Yang Rong. There were also a few higher-ups of the company. When they heard that Li Qianxue had a car accident, they all came to see her. Soon, the ward was filled with all kinds of gifts. When Auntie Zhang delivered the food, Su Qinghui asked her to pack up everything. He picked up the food and began to feed Li Qianxue. Li Qianxue took a nap in the afternoon, but more people came later. She didn't rest much. Although her injury wasn't serious, it was still very exhausting. She was really hungry now. After taking a deep look at Su Qinghui, she didn't refuse the food he fed her. She ate very slowly, and Su Qinghui's feeding wasn't fast either. After the morning, Su Qinghui was even more proficient in doing these things. After the meal, there was a nurse to clean up the dishes. Su Qinghui only needed to accompany Li Qianxue. He casually took a few bites and put down the bowl. Wei Ting hadn't returned, and he felt a great sense of crisis. Previously, Su Yusin had come over after work. He wanted to stay, but he rushed Su Yusin home. He wanted Su Yusin to find out old Master Li's intentions. He shouldn't be so worried about personal gains and losses, but his opponent was Wei Ting. Wei Ting was younger and more energetic than him. More importantly, Wei Ting was stronger than him in one way. He had never hurt Li Qianxue. He really didn't have the slightest confidence against Wei Ting. But he couldn't show it, even if he was very anxious. He felt that the situation in front of him was clearly very good, but because of this sudden change, Su Qinghui fell into a state of anxiety. After cleaning up the dishes, he saw that Li Qianxue didn't seem to be in high spirits. He went to the small kitchen attached to the ward to wash the fruit, cut it, and brought it to the bed. Eat some fruit. What do you want to eat? Li Qianxue didn't say anything. He used a toothpick to pick up a piece of apple. Apple. Seeing that she didn't respond, he fed her another red grape. Try it. I tasted it just now. It's very sweet. Qianxue. He looked at her and waited for her to open her mouth. Looking at Su Qinghui, Li Qianxue still opened her mouth and bit the red grape. It was a very simple matter, but Su Qinghui smiled. Qianxue, it's indeed very sweet, isn't it? Yusin bought it. The older he gets, the more sensible he is. Li Qianxue didn't know that there were too many people coming today. Everyone brought gifts when they entered the door, so she didn't notice. However, because Su Qinghui said that Su Yusin bought it, she ate a few more. That couldn't be better for Su Qinghui. He became more and more interested. After feeding her the grapes, he fed her a few cherries. He didn't stop until Li Qianxue said that he couldn't eat anymore. The fawning expression on his face was too obvious. Li Qianxue couldn't bear to look at it. It was getting late. The nurse poked her head in and wanted to ask if she needed help. Seeing the two of them like this, the nurse shrank her head out again. Su Chenghui took this opportunity to get some water and wash Li Qianxue up. I know you like to be clean. It's impossible for you to take a bath, but I can help you wipe it. After he finished speaking, he unscrewed the towel and was about to do it. His hand holding the towel stopped when he met Li Qianxue's bright eyes. Only then did he realize that something seemed to be wrong. If he wiped Li Qianxue's body, wouldn't he have to help her take off her clothes? And then, just imagining that scene, Su Chenghui suddenly felt a little hot. His hand holding the towel tightened a little, and he even swallowed unconsciously. Chapter 737. Call Shaoli in. Li Qianxue felt her teeth clench. Her eyes flashed, and she had no intention of letting him do it. Shaoli was the nurse who had poked her head in just now. She was in her early 30s. However, she was experienced. There were 2 nurses in each ward. Xiao Zhao was on the other side, and Li Qianxue was on the other side. Li Qianxue did feel uncomfortable. She had always liked to be clean, and she had never experienced such a situation before. Su Chenghui looked into her eyes. Not only did he not call Shaoli, but he also walked to the door of the ward and locked it. Su Chenghui, there's no need to call Shaoli. I'll help you. As Su Chenghui spoke, he returned to the bed. He looked at Li Qianxue and reached out his hand to her. Su Chenghui, how dare you? Li Qianxue was a little embarrassed, but she was more angry. It wasn't that she had never met Su Chenghui openly, but it was never when she was sober. After so many years, if she still had some enthusiasm, it would have become cold by now. However, she didn't expect that one day, Su Chenghui would take a hot towel and say that he wanted to wipe her body. Su Chenghui looked at her face that was flushed with anger. He knew that if he continued, she would be even angrier. However, when he thought that Wei Ting might be trying to curry favor with Old Master Li now, he couldn't sit still. If he couldn't count on Old Master Li, then he could only take down the main character. He put the towel back into the water and walked in front of Li Qianxue. He bent down and placed his slender and well-defined fingers on the button of her hospital gown. Su Chenghui, Li Qianxue had one hand in a cast. As soon as she raised her other hand, she was suppressed by Su Chenghui. She could only watch helplessly as he began to take off her hospital gown. It was not the right way to persuade her. He only undid her clothes. The weather was very hot, and she was wearing nothing under the hospital gown. She didn't feel it before, but now, her face was full of embarrassment. Su Chenghui didn't think too much about it. He took off her clothes and wrung the towel over again. When Li Qianxue reached out to block it, he began to wipe her body. Li Qianxue was the darling of the heavens. Her skin was delicate and fair. Even at this age, her body was still flawless. He started at her shoulders and worked his way down. When his hand touched her heart, Li Qianxue couldn't help but stop him with her uninjured hand. However, she had forgotten that she was lying down and not sitting at the moment. As soon as her hand touched Su Chenghui's, she didn't pull his hand away. Instead, it seemed that she was inviting him to touch her. She quickly withdrew her hand, which made it easier for Su Chenghui to move. There was a faint smile on Su Chenghui's lips. He seemed to be quite happy with Li Qianxue's cooperation. Li Qianxue blushed. She turned her face away from Su Chenghui. Su Chenghui was not young anymore. He was also past the age of impulsiveness. But when he saw Li Qianxue's snow-white skin, he couldn't help but breathe heavily. Taking a deep breath, he collected his thoughts and focused his attention on the matter at hand. Holding a towel, he wiped Li Qianxue's body bit by bit. Li Qianxue's body trembled slightly, and the places that were touched by the warm water turned a beautiful pink. She heard Su Qinghui's breathing getting heavier. The hand that wasn't in a cast was tightly clenched into a fist. In the end, Su Qinghui overestimated his self-control. He thought that he could restrain himself. But he found that it wasn't that easy. After wiping his upper body, his back was already covered in sweat. Next, it was time to test his self-control. He went to the bathroom to change the water and washed his face with cold water. After calming down, he went out again. Li Qianxue had already pulled up her clothes and covered her body with the quilt. Su Qinghui's eyes flashed with disappointment, but he quickly felt relieved. He walked to the bed and didn't have time to do anything. Li Qianxue had already begun to glare at him. There's no need to wipe. Li Qianxue was so embarrassed just now that she wanted to die. If this continued, she would be even more unwilling. That's it. How can that be? Su Qinghui stubbornly stepped forward and began to lift the quilt. Wipe it clean so that you can sleep. Su Qinghui, be good. I promise I'll just help you wipe your body. When he said that, Li Qianxue's hands and feet were inconvenient. She could only watch as he began his animal behavior again. He took off her hospital pants and began to wipe the crescent moon for him. Li Qianxue's face was so red that it looked like it was about to drip blood. The two of them had been married for more than 20 years, and there was almost no time for them to be truly intimate. She had once fantasized that one day Su Qinghui would be willing to treat her like a real wife. But now, he was really treating her like this, but it was after they divorced. Thinking about it this way, it was really a little ironic. Feeling the warm touch somewhere, she suddenly reacted. She saw Su Qinghui holding a towel and wiping the root of her leg. Su Qinghui, she immediately called out. Su Qinghui didn't stop his movements. Don't move, it'll be very fast. You, be good. You're already like this. What can I do to you? He wasn't that animal, although he also wanted to. Li Qianxue gritted her teeth and glared at Su Qinghui hatefully. She found that there was sweat on his forehead. Her gaze inadvertently swept down, and when she saw the tent he had set up somewhere, her expression changed. Su Qinghui, you bastard. Su Qinghui was almost done. Because of Li Qianxue's words, he couldn't help but glance at her. As soon as he stood up, his body's reaction was directly exposed to Li Qianxue's eyes. Looking at her ugly expression, he tried his best to suppress his body's reaction. However, that woman's hand was clearly injured, but she still hurriedly began to pull up the blanket. He pressed down on her restless hand with one hand, threw the towel to the side, and folded his entire body on top of her. He knew that she was injured, so he didn't use too much force. He just stared at her face, his gaze burning. I love you. It's normal for me to have a reaction to you. Shameless. Li Qianxue glared at him. Su Qinghui lowered his head and suddenly kissed her lips. She couldn't react and couldn't move. She watched as his face enlarged in front of her and then robbed her of her breath and sweetness. After the kiss ended, her breathing became unstable and her body went limp. He propped one hand on the side of her neck and stared at her with a burning gaze. Just now, I really wanted to help you clean up. Now, this is shameless. He pecked her lips again. When he got up again, not only did his body's reaction not subside, but it became even stronger. Li Qianxue watched him carry the water into the bathroom, but he didn't come out for a long time. She could even hear Su Qinghui calling her name in the bathroom. Bastard, shameless, hooligan. Why didn't she know that behind Su Qinghui's elegance, there was such a shameless side? She was so embarrassed that she wanted to sleep, but she could clearly hear the sound of Su Qinghui's breathing. He clearly did it on purpose. He deliberately didn't close the door and deliberately let her hear it. She gritted her teeth and really wanted to beat this man up. After an unknown period of time, Su Qinghui finally came out. He walked directly to Li Qianxue's bed and stood still. She wasn't asleep and was also looking at him. Did you hear it? I didn't hear anything. Li Qianxue turned her face away and didn't look at Su Qinghui at all. You just heard it. Su Qinghui looked at her face with a smile in his eyes. He bent down and leaned close to her ear. Do you know, Qianxue? For more than a year, when I can't sleep at night, I have to think of you to fall asleep. When he said sleep, he definitely didn't mean that. Li Qianxue came from a good family background. Even if they were talking about cooperation in the business world, no one would have the guts to talk dirty in front of her. Suddenly hearing Su Qinghui's words, her face turned green. Su Qinghui, you're shameless. I hope that one day in the future, I won't have to think of you to sleep. Su Qinghui sat down by the bed and held her hand. Instead, I can hug you to sleep. Dream on. Li Qianxue sneered and pulled her hand back. There will never be such a day. There's a word called dream come true. Qianxue, do you think my dream will come true one day? I've already said that since it's a dream, of course it won't come true. She would never allow that day to come. I think that day will come. As Su Qinghui spoke, he lay down on the hospital bed. One hand wrapped around her shoulder. Aren't I hugging you to sleep like this? Su Qinghui, get up. Li Qianxue didn't expect that Su Qinghui was still taking advantage of her at this time. How could she not be angry? Su Qinghui's reaction was to bury his face in her neck. He closed his eyes and greedily breathed in her scent. Qianxue, I'm so happy. I'm not happy that you're hurt. I'm happy that I can finally hug you like this. Qianxue. Qianxue, he kissed her neck. Li Qianxue's body began to tremble. She finally couldn't stand it anymore and pushed him. Su Qinghui. Li Qianxue used all her strength to push his body away from her. She held his arm with one hand and glared at him coldly. Are you happy? Unfortunately, I'm not happy. She looked at the gentleness on Su Qinghui's face and felt that it was piercing to her eyes. You want your dream to come true. I have to cooperate with you, right? Then do you know that there's another word, dream shattering? You want to sleep by my side, you want to hug me to sleep, and I have to let you fulfill your wish. What about the years before that? Su Qinghui, tell me, what were the years before that? 26 years, from the time I married you to the time I divorced you. Every day, I dreamed that one day, you will accept me and be with me. I dreamed that one day, you could forget the moonlight in your heart and fall in love with me. Su Qinghui, you've never made my dream come true. What right do you have to put on such a loving look and make me accept you? Fulfill your wish. Su Qinghui, tell me. You've only been together for a little more than a year, and you think you've given up a lot. You think you're so amazing. Let me tell you, I'm not touched at all. I just feel disgusted. If you think you're amazing, then let me ask you, who am I going to look for in those 20 years? Who am I going to look for to compensate me? Her emotions fluctuated a little, which affected the wounds on her hands and feet, which made her expression not look good. The atmosphere in the ward was extremely gloomy. Li Qianxue looked at him with a cold gaze. I've forced myself not to think about who was right and who was wrong in the past. But, please don't pretend to be affectionate to disgust me. Now, please get up and get out of my bed. Su Qinghui looked at her deeply. He didn't miss any trace of emotion in her eyes. His heart was filled with bitterness. Yes, this was an unequal sacrifice. How could he ask Li Qinxue to accept him in such a short time? He left Li Qinxue's bed very slowly, sat down by the bed, and looked at Li Qinxue's face. She didn't look at him, and even turned her face away. He smiled helplessly. I'm sorry, Qinxue. He was too excited today and forgot that there had been more than 20 years of alienation and indifference between him and Li Qinxue. He really shouldn't have been so arrogant. I'm sorry. Li Qinxue didn't look at him. Instead, she closed her eyes tightly. Su Chenghui stood up and looked at her stiff back. He had a lot to say, but he couldn't say a word. You should rest. I'll go sleep on the other bed. He turned around and walked a few steps to the side, then turned back again. Qinxue. Maybe you don't believe me, but my affection isn't fake. Li Qinxue's reaction to him was to turn her face to the other side and show him the back of her head again. Su Chenghui woke up very early. When he got up, Li Qinxue also happened to open her eyes. The two of them looked at each other, and neither of them spoke. Su Chenghui's lips moved, and he finally went to the bathroom to wash up. When he came out again, he had filled Li Qinxue with water and squeezed toothpaste on her toothbrush. Li Qinxue was still in a cold war with him last night. Now that he was taking care of her, she was a little reluctant. Her gaze inadvertently met the faint green shadow in Su Chenghui's eyes. She didn't say what she wanted him to call the nurse. She brushed her teeth with her uninjured hand. Su Chenghui held the cup for her and handed it over when she wanted to rinse her mouth. His angle was just right, and Li Qinxue saved a lot of effort. She couldn't help but look at him again. Su Chenghui didn't say a word. After she brushed her teeth, he brought a towel to wash her face. In fact, Li Qinxue usually used facial cleanser at home. Now that her hand was injured, she could only make do with it. She wanted him to give her the towel, but he wouldn't let her. He wiped her face very carefully and washed it very seriously. After he was done, his phone just happened to ring. It was Su Yusin. He was going to work at the Li Corporation and brought food to Li Qinxue. Old Master Li also came with him. Su Chenghui hung up the phone and glanced at Li Qinxue. Yusin will bring food over soon. Have a glass of water first. Su Chenghui had just poured the water when someone knocked on the door of the ward. He didn't know who came so early, even earlier than Su Yusin and the others. Chapter 738. Wei Ting's mental state today seemed to be much better than yesterday. He didn't know what old Master Li said to him yesterday, but when he looked at Su Chenghui again, his gaze was a little smug. Please make way. He held a large bouquet of roses in one hand and a large bag in the other. Su Chenghui recognized the logo on the bag. It was a very famous hotel in Lin City, and it had a special breakfast. He stood there, not intending to give in to Wei Ting. President Wei, Qinxue just woke up. It's not convenient. What's not convenient? Wei Ting didn't know what politeness was. Qinxue just woke up, so she's hungry. Did you see that? I brought breakfast for her. He shook the box in his hand and moved closer to Su Chenghui. But don't worry, there's nothing for you. He said this very softly. Seeing the slight change in Su Chenghui's expression, he directly squeezed past his body and went into the ward. It wasn't that Su Chenghui couldn't stop him, but Li Qinxue had already heard the sound of him entering the door. Qinxue, how are you? When Wei Ting saw that Li Qinxue had already woken up, the smile on his face became even brighter. Wei Ting. When Li Qinxue saw him, her expression was a little strange. She thought that old Master Li had convinced him when he brought Wei Ting home yesterday. What was Dad doing? I brought you breakfast. Wei Ting looked at Li Qinxue and smiled gently. Try it. I specially queued up to buy it. It's all very exquisite breakfast. Li Qianxue didn't reply, and Wei Ting moved quickly. He first put the flowers aside. Then, he laid out the breakfast. There was a small table on the hospital bed, and the breakfast was placed all over the table. The portion wasn't much, but each portion seemed to taste pretty good. Come, try it. It's still warm. I specially asked the waiter to bring 2 layers of insulation boxes. Li Qianxue looked at the chopsticks in his hand and didn't know what kind of expression to put on for a moment. Su Chenghui stood not far behind Wei Ting and stared at the man coldly. When Wei Ting handed the chopsticks to Li Qianxue, his eyes flashed. He took a few steps forward and took the chopsticks in his hand. You, Wei Ting turned to look at him. Su Chenghui's expression did not change. He looked at Li Qianxue gently. Qianxue, Yusin will bring breakfast soon. Nanny Zhang's cooking is hygienic and nutritious. As for these, I don't know where they got them from, so you don't have to eat them. Su Chenghui, what do you mean? Wei Ting was young after all. Because of Su Chenghui's actions, he was a little impatient. Can't you see clearly? Look carefully, this is Jin Meishuan's breakfast. Really? Su Chenghui looked at his exasperated face, and his expression became more certain than before. Then I'll have to try it. President Wei. Su Chenghui raised his eyebrows and looked at him. You don't mind, do you? Of course mind. Wei Ting was interrupted by Su Chenghui. Of course you don't mind. I know. Then I'll thank you in advance for breakfast. Qianxue. Su Chenghui looked at Li Qianxue. This breakfast is a little greasy. Don't eat it. Greasy? Wei Ting was furious. How is it oily? How is it greasy? He was still talking, but Su Chenghui had already started eating. His movements were so fast that he didn't have time to stop him. Li Qianxue sat there and watched the 2 men's childish behavior. She didn't want to speak anymore. President Su. Wei Ting gritted his teeth. Now, he really felt that the back of his teeth was hurting. You don't have to eat so fast, do you? Of course I have to eat faster. Even though Su Chenghui's eating movements were very fast, it couldn't hide his elegance at this moment. His steadiness, which had been immersed in the business world for many years, overwhelmed Wei Ting in terms of aura. After all, Yusin will bring breakfast over later. I still have to take care of Qianxue's meal. It's okay. I'm also very happy to take care of Qianxue. It's useless if you're happy, because Qianxue isn't. Su Chenghui slowly picked up a crystal dumpling and put it into his mouth. Wei Ting glared at him and then at him again. When he turned to look at Li Qianxue, he couldn't help but look a little aggrieved. Qianxue, you don't mind, right? Li Qianxue frowned. Let Wei Ting take care of her. Wei Ting, today doesn't seem to be the weekend. Was this in order to chase him away? Wei Ting's expression became more and more depressed. It doesn't matter to me. Qianxue, it doesn't matter if I don't go to work. I like to accompany you. I don't need your company. Li Qianxue rejected him very clearly. You should go to work. If you don't want me to accompany you, do you want him to accompany you? Wei Ting pointed at Su Chenghui. Other than the aggrieved expression on his face, there was also a hint of shock and disbelief. Wei Ting. Unfortunately, Li Qianxue didn't like his tone. This doesn't seem to have anything to do with you. Of course it does. Wei Ting looked at the people who had dealt with most of the breakfast he brought and felt depressed. How can he be worthy of you? Look at him, President Wei. Su Chenghui put down the chopsticks in his hand and slowly took out a tissue from the side to wipe the corner of his mouth. Whether I'm worthy or not, it doesn't seem to be up to you to decide. He looked at Li Qianxue with a burning gaze. Qianxue has the final say. Su Chenghui couldn't be blamed for being so sure. He and Li Qianxue had been husband and wife for many years. Even if they divorced, even if they broke up. With Li Qianxue's personality, she wouldn't do anything to ruin his reputation outside. Li Qianxue definitely wouldn't say something that belittled him like this. Qianxue. Wei Ting looked at Li Qianxue, waiting for her to stand up for him. You don't really think so, do you? How could a person like Su Qinghui be worthy of Li Qianxue? What kind of joke was this? Wei Ting. Li Qianxue really had a headache when she saw this. She wasn't in the mood to continue arguing with Wei Ting. Go to work. We really don't need you here. Qianxue. Wei Ting's eyes widened. He couldn't believe that Li Qianxue would rather choose Su Qinghui than him. Mom. He was still in disbelief when Su Yusin arrived on the other side. He saw Wei Ting the moment he entered the door. Naturally, he knew this man. He was a tech upstart in Lin City. It was said that he was pursuing his mother. Su Yusin's feelings were a little complicated. On one hand, he was naturally happy that Li Qianxue still had such charm at her age. On the other hand, he felt a little uncomfortable. His mother was being pursued by a man so many years younger than her. Regardless of whether it would work out or not, he only hoped that Li Qianxue wouldn't get hurt. I brought you soup. In fact, the hospital had nutritious meals, but Su Qinghui insisted that the nutritious meals in the hospital were not delicious. Even old Master Li felt the same way. It was really because the Li Corporation had shares in this hospital. How could ordinary patients have such treatment? Su Yusin walked forward and saw the breakfast that looked like it had been eaten on the table beside the hospital bed. Mom, it's nothing. Su Qinghui wouldn't let Wei Ting leave a good impression in front of his son. President Wei is my friend. He saw that I was working hard to take care of your mother, so he brought me breakfast. Wei Ting stared at Su Qinghui and felt that he almost spat out a mouthful of blood. What did Su Qinghui mean? Who brought it to him? Thank you, Mr. Wei. Su Yusin put down the lunchbox very politely. Sorry to trouble you, Mr. Wei. Is there anything else? Wei Ting's face turned green. He didn't expect that in such a short period of time, he would be asked to leave by Li Qianxue and Su Yusin. This feeling was really fresh, very fresh. He couldn't help but look at Li Qianxue again. Qianxue, did you see that? Your ex-husband bullied me, and your son also bullied me. Everyone bullied me. Wei Ting, you can go back first. There's Yusin and the nurse here. I'm fine. Qianxue. I want to take care of you. I really don't need you to take care of me. The nurse of this hospital and Yusin are all here. Wei Ting couldn't argue with her. In the end, no matter how reluctant he was, he still left the ward. After he left, Su Qinghui was happy, and Li Qianxue was more or less at ease. She chose Su Qinghui between Su Qinghui and Wei Ting. It didn't mean that she forgave Su Qinghui. But in such a situation, she was more willing to leave behind someone who made her feel controllable and didn't make her feel so uncomfortable. Just like yesterday, Su Yusin scooped soup for Li Qianxue and was about to feed her. The bowl was taken away by Su Qinghui again. Let me do it. Go and ask the nurse to take away the food on this table. How could Su Yusin not know what Su Qinghui wanted to do? He glanced at him and directly went to clean it up himself. Now, he only hoped that since he was so tactful and quick, Su Qinghui would quickly settle Li Qianxue. Li Qianxue and Su Qinghui didn't say anything. Although she cooperated with Su Qinghui and opened her mouth, she remained silent and didn't speak. Su Qinghui liked to take care of Li Qianxue. Even the smallest things would make him feel happy and satisfied. It didn't matter whether Li Qianxue accepted him or not, but he had to do these things. He had to let Li Qianxue feel his heart for her. After breakfast, Su Yusin went straight to the Li Corporation. The Li Corporation didn't have so many things for him to do. The decisions were arranged by Li Qianxue. However, Su Yusin obviously didn't want to be a third wheel between his parents, so he could only leave. After his son left, Su Qinghui felt even more at ease. Qianxue, do you want to eat some fruit? Qianxue, is it comfortable to sleep like this? Do you want me to help you adjust the pillow a little higher? Qianxue, do you want to watch TV? I'll turn on the TV for you to watch. Qianxue, the latest issue of Second Finance and Economics is here. Do you want me to read it to you? Qianxue. The repeated calls of Qianxue gave Li Qianxue a headache. She looked at Su Qinghui, but there wasn't much joy or emotion in her eyes. You're very noisy. I just want to have a quiet rest. Su Qinghui looked at Li Qianxue's cold expression and couldn't say anything else for a moment. Qianxue. Then you rest. Li Qianxue's world finally became quiet, but this wasn't enough. Because Su Qinghui was sitting by the bed and staring at her with a burning gaze. That feeling was like a knife on her back. Even if she closed her eyes, she still couldn't hide it. She gritted her teeth and couldn't take it anymore. She opened her eyes and glared at Su Qinghui. Su Qinghui, that's enough, right? Can you stop staring at me? Su Qinghui had no idea how he had offended her to cause her to react so strongly. Qianxue. Do you have nothing to do? If you have nothing to do, please go out. I don't want to see you. Qianxue, I know. I just want to accompany me, right? Li Qianxue's tone was a little cold. But I'm sorry, I don't need anyone to accompany me now. Qianxue. Are you leaving or not? If you don't leave, I'll leave. It was just a transfer. She had the ability to do so. Su Qinghui didn't say anything else. He didn't feel at ease leaving just like that. After thinking for a while, he stood up. Since you want to rest, you can rest. I'll go get you a pot of water. Li Qianxue turned her face to the side. What water? He was just looking for an excuse to stay. After 2 days, she didn't chase him away. Perhaps it gave him some illusions. Li Qianxue didn't like such illusions. She watched Su Qinghui go out with the hot water bottle and knew that he would come back later. For a moment, she was a little annoyed. However, no matter how hard Su Qinghui tried, it was useless. As long as she was firm, Su Qinghui wouldn't be able to shake her. In the following time, Li Qianxue tried her best to ignore Su Qinghui. She tried her best to keep a distance from him. It was a subtle yet distant feeling, a sense of alienation. She didn't say anything to provoke Su Qinghui. When a person reached a certain stage, these words were no longer useful. Yesterday, she said so harshly, but Su Qinghui didn't think of leaving. It could be seen that he was either thick-skinned, or he really wanted to be with her. No matter which one it was, Li Qianxue hated and disliked it. There was a voice deep in her heart telling her that that feeling wasn't pure hatred and dislike. It was that she was afraid that things would become like before. However, she suppressed this voice. She also thought about her uncontrollable heartbeat when Su Qinghui wiped her body last night. She thought about the trace of palpitation she felt in the depths of her heart ever since Su Qinghui hugged her. Li Qianxue didn't like these abnormal reactions. She was a very calm person. Perhaps, before Su Qinghui went further, she could do something. She should think of a chance to completely drive Su Qinghui out of her life. As for those minor losses of control, she would ignore them all. That's right, it was just a momentary loss of control. The door of the ward opened and closed. After a while, it opened again. She thought that it was Su Qinghui who had returned and was thinking about how to explain it to him. However, she saw that the person who came in wasn't Su Qinghui at all, but Luo Qing. President Luo. Seeing Luo Qing, Li Qianqua's sleepiness disappeared. She didn't quite understand why Luo Qing was here. Qianqua, I heard that you had a car accident. I'm really sorry. I just received the news last night, so I only had time to see you today. Luo Qing smiled very warmly. He was also carrying a large pile of nutrition products in his hand. Chapter 739. The ward was a VIP ward, and it was very big. Apart from the big room, there was another small room. There was a bathroom and a kitchen nearby. Just now, in order to get Su Qinghui out of her sight, Li Qianqua didn't even leave a nurse behind. Now, only she and Luo Qing were left in the huge ward. Luo Qing carried the things in his hands and slowly walked in the direction of the bed. CEO Li, I'm sorry. They're all worthless toys, but they're still good for your body. If you're injured, you can slowly nourish yourself. We'll need it eventually. President Luo, you're too kind. Li Qianqua's voice was a little more polite than before. Thank you for making the trip. President Li, you don't have to be so polite. Luo Qing smiled more affectionately than before. Li Qianqua frowned at his natural and familiar attitude. She was now sitting on the bed. She was sitting and he was standing. Especially now that she was injured, her complexion was not good. His aura was always a little lacking. Boss Luo, you're too polite. She, who couldn't move her hands and feet, hoped that someone would appear quickly. She had been in the business world for a long time, so how could she not understand that Luo Qing had other intentions? No one knew what he was after. It's only right that I come to see you. We don't have to be so polite. As Luo Qing spoke, he walked towards the bed. He casually placed the things in his hands on the bedside and was about to sit down by the bed. Li Qianqua looked out of the ward. She remembered that she had driven Su Qinghui away before. Now, she hoped that he would come back soon. On the other side, Su Qinghui went to get some water and was about to rush to the ward. In the end, when he turned the corner, he accidentally bumped into a person. That person almost bumped into him. In order not to let the hot water bottle fall to the ground and break, and also in order not to get the water on the other party's body, Su Qinghui took 2 big steps back, and the man kept apologizing. I'm sorry. The crisp female voice was filled with guilt and self-blame. Su Qinghui looked at the person in front of him. It was a young girl in her early 20s. She looked well-dressed. I'm sorry, sir. Did I step on you just now? The little girl had a guilty look on her face. Su Qinghui looked at the little girl who was about the same age as his daughter and shook his head. I'm fine. The other party had stepped on him, but that kind of force didn't affect him much. I'm really sorry. The girl lowered her head and saw the footprint on Su Qinghui's shoe. Su Qinghui's shoes were all custom-made in Italy. There was a shoe print on the smooth shoes, which made people feel bad. Do you want to take off your shoes and let me clean them for you? There's really no need. Seeing the panic and guilt in the little girl's eyes, Su Qinghui didn't plan to pursue the matter further. He had to hurry back to the ward to accompany Li Qianqua. Whether she wanted him to accompany her was one thing, but whether he wanted to accompany her was another. No, I must help you wipe it. As the girl spoke, she squatted down and took out a tissue from her bag to wipe Su Qinghui's shoes. Seeing this, Su Qinghui instinctively moved his feet back. There's really no need. Yes, I must. The little girl squatted down and wiped Su Qinghui's shoes with a tissue. Su Qinghui had been living like a prince all these years. He had people taking care of him wherever he went, but he wouldn't let a little girl do such a thing. However, he was still holding a thermos in his hand. He couldn't stop the little girl in front of him. He felt a little regretful. If he had known earlier, he would have asked Xiao Jiang to fetch water. The little girl wiped very carefully, and it was not convenient for Su Qinghui to withdraw his foot. From time to time, people passed by. Everyone looked at the scene in front of them, and their gazes at Su Qinghui were somewhat inexplicable. Su Qinghui became more and more uncomfortable. Okay, that's enough. Okay. The little girl stood up and looked at the shoes that were as clean as before. She breathed a sigh of relief. I'm really sorry. It's all my fault. It doesn't matter. Su Qinghui didn't intend to pester her any further. He still had to go to the ward. You're really a good person. The little girl stopped him again. She looked at him, and her eyes flickered. I still have to thank you for not arguing with me. It really doesn't matter. Su Qinghui's eyes were already showing impatience. The little girl stuck out her tongue. Sorry, I seem to have wasted your time. Then, I'll leave first. Thank you again. She stepped back as she spoke. Su Qinghui looked at her and suddenly felt a little strange. When she made a face just now, at first glance, it actually looked a little like Su Peijian. In this moment of distraction, the little girl took a step forward. Uncle, you're really a good person. I hope I'll have the chance to see you next time. Su Qinghui didn't say anything. He looked at the little girl who looked a little similar to Su Peijian and stood there without moving. Goodbye, uncle. The little girl waved her hand and left. The moment she turned around, that side profile was even more similar. Su Qinghui's hand that was holding the hot water bottle tightened slightly. He thought of his daughter who was serving her sentence in Rome City. He didn't know how Su Peijian was doing now. Speaking of which, during this period of time, in order to make Li Qianxue accept him, he hadn't seen Su Peijian for a long time. Perhaps the next time he visited Su Qingsang, he would also visit Su Peijian. In the ward, Luo Qing sat on the bed. Such an overly intimate and friendly attitude made Li Qianxue's expression turn ugly. Qianxue. Luo Qing suddenly spoke, but he didn't call out to President Li politely. I was really worried when I found out that you were injured. Only then did I realize that my attention to you was far from that of an ordinary friend. Qianxue, can I call you by your name? He had already called her that, and now he was asking this question. Li Qianxue didn't respond to his words. President Luo, the investment case you mentioned last time, the investment case isn't important. What's important is my feelings for you. Luo Qing raised his hand forward and looked at Li Qianxue. Qianxue, I don't care about that investment case. What I care about is you. President Luo, you might have misunderstood. I didn't misunderstand. Luo Qing couldn't wait to express his feelings. My feelings for you come from the bottom of my heart. Please believe me. As he spoke, he even reached out to hold Li Qianxue's hand. Li Qianxue didn't expect him to suddenly move. One of her hands was already in a cast, and now that the other hand was held by him, she felt very uncomfortable. She tried to pull her hand back, but Luo Qing held her hand in his palm. Qianxue, give me a chance to take care of you. I will prove that I am a qualified husband. President Luo. Li Qianxue didn't expect this man to be so strong. Unfortunately, her other hand was injured. She couldn't even pull it out forcefully. Annoyed, he was thinking of using his hand that was in a cast to hit Luo Qing without a care. Before she could take action, Luo Cheng's body had already been pulled up and pushed to the side. Li Qianxue looked at Su Qinghui, who had suddenly appeared. He stood there, half of his body in front of her bed, and his hands were clenched into fists by his side. President Luo. He looked at Luo Qing coldly, his eyes sharp and cold. You've crossed the line. Luo Qing didn't expect Su Qinghui to suddenly appear. He had clearly asked someone to hold him back. President Su, it doesn't seem appropriate for you to say that, does it? Luo Qing looked at Su Qinghui with the posture of a protector. Qianxue has already divorced you. Then, she has the right to be with other men, don't you think? She does have that right. But she also has the right to refuse. Su Qinghui's expression didn't change. From the looks of it, I don't see Qianxue having any plans to accept you. Or, President Luo, do you think that having physical contact with others without their consent is a sign of respect for women? Is that disrespecting women? Luo Qing looked a little embarrassed. I just couldn't help it. President Luo said that you couldn't help it, but I think it's better for you to restrain yourself next time. After all, Qianxue isn't a casual woman. She can't help it if she wants to cooperate with President Luo. Luo Cheng's face alternated between green and white from Su Qinghui's words. He knew that he had been reckless today. Now that the opportunity had failed, he could only find another opportunity. President Su, you're thinking too much. I respect Qianxue quite a lot. He looked at Li Qianxue, and his expression was much softer than before. Qianxue, don't think too much. I really didn't mean anything else just now. Li Qianxue didn't say anything. Her background was there, and she couldn't put on an even uglier expression. She just had a cold expression. If Su Qinghui hadn't come in time, she had no doubt that she would have broken Luo Cheng's head with a cast. Now that things had developed to this point, Luo Qing couldn't continue to stay. After saying a few more soft words, he left. Li Qianxue didn't relax just because Luo Qing had left. Her expression was very ugly. She hated being touched by someone she didn't like. The place where Luo Qing held her hand almost made her want to chop off that hand. However, before she could react, Su Qinghui had already entered the bathroom first. When he came out again, there was a basin of water in his hand. He picked up the towel inside and walked in front of her. He picked up her hand and started to wipe it. Su Qinghui's movements weren't as gentle as yesterday, and he used more force. He lowered his face, and his half-closed eyes were gentle and calm. Li Qianxue looked at his movements, and an electric current flowed through her heart. It was a momentary heartbeat. She could clearly feel that the man in front of her reminded her of the first time she saw him more than 20 years ago, and that her heart had been moved. Luo Qing left the hospital gate and was in the parking lot outside. A figure was waiting there. When he saw the person, his expression didn't look good. Didn't I ask you to lure Su Qinghui away? Why did you let him return to the ward so quickly? Speaking of which, Luo Qing was really thinking too much. Even without Su Qinghui, with Li Qianxue's personality, she wouldn't let him take advantage of her. It didn't make sense to blame him now. Jing Shu looked at the accusation in Luo Cheng's eyes and chuckled. Uncle, don't be anxious. What's the matter? Take your time. She smiled brightly. If Su Qinghui was here, he would realize that she was the little girl who wanted to clean his shoes just now. What do you mean? Luo Qing was unhappy after being humiliated by Su Qinghui today. Uncle. Jing Shu was about the same age as Luo Cheng's daughter, Luo Yu. She had been studying in another city. She had recently graduated, and her mother and Luo Qing could be considered cousins. He asked her to come to Lin City to look for Luo Qing and ask him to arrange something for her to do. Unexpectedly, after Jing Shu came to Lin City, Luo Qing unexpectedly found that his niece looked somewhat similar to Su Qinghui's former daughter, Su Peixian. This was really a pleasant surprise. He wanted to pursue Li Qianxue, and Su Qinghui was a stumbling block. If he could let Jing Shu use her appearance to distract Su Qinghui, then he would be able to make his presence known in front of Li Qianxue. I think that instead of thinking of a way to make Su Qinghui unable to hinder you, it's better to solve this problem completely. We might as well solve this problem once and for all. What do you think? What do you mean? Uncle. Jing Shu gestured with her hands and gestured to herself. What do you think of me? Luo Qing looked at Jing Shu and didn't understand what he wanted to do. Jing Shu wasn't bad looking. Her eyebrows and eyes were somewhat similar to Su Peixian's, so she was naturally bright and pretty. The most important thing was that she was young and energetic. Jing Shu, your mother asked you to come to Lin City so that I could take care of you. I never thought. Although he had a purpose, he wouldn't send his niece to Su Qinghui's side. Even if this niece was his cousin. Uncle, I think you can think about it now. Jing Shu thought of the gentleness and elegance on Su Qinghui's face when he smiled just now, and her heart skipped a beat. Jing Shu, about your mother, uncle, you don't have to worry about my mother. I just want to tell you that I've taken a fancy to Su Qinghui. Are you crazy? Luo Qing glared at the little girl in front of him. Do you know how old he is? He can be your father. So what? Jing Shu blinked and was very confident in herself. I just like him. Can't I? Jing Shu, uncle, if I can take down Su Qinghui, won't that solve your problem? Luo Qing didn't say anything. His plan didn't include this. He just wanted Su Qinghui to be unable to disturb him. All right, uncle. Don't be too old-fashioned. In this society, what kind of love doesn't exist? Su Qinghui isn't young. But such a man is mature and charming. I like this kind of man. Don't try to persuade me. Really wait for me to take down Su Qinghui. It'll be good for you too. Isn't that so? Luo Qing couldn't refute that. In fact, he was the one who asked Jing Shu to trip Su Qinghui. Speaking of which, if it weren't for him, Jing Shu wouldn't have fallen for Su Qinghui. Let's go. Uncle, I also need to think about how to take down that old man. Jing Shu's eyes flashed with determination. Luo Qing wanted to persuade her, but he thought that if Su Qinghui was really taken down by Jing Shu, the success rate of him pursuing Li Qianxue would be completely different. All right. I won't persuade you anymore. But as for your mother, you can talk to her yourself when the time comes. Got it. Also, that Su Qinghui is already a grandfather. You, don't be too serious. If you really can't do it, then forget it. Don't worry. Jing Shu raised her hand and looked at it. I will definitely take him down. Chapter 740. Su Qinghui didn't know that he was being targeted. He wiped the water off Li Qianxue's hands. Qianxue, I won't let you go alone next time. Although Luo Qing might not dare to do anything, Su Qinghui was still worried. If you want to fetch water or anything else tomorrow, let Xiao Jiang go. I'll accompany you. No need. Li Qianxue wasn't a weak person who needed protection. I can take care of it myself. Su Qinghui knew that she wouldn't listen to him, and he also knew that she was used to rejecting him. He didn't intend to convince her, but he had already made up his mind. In the future, he would definitely not let Li Qianxue go alone. Are you thirsty? Do you want some water? Li Qianxue shook her head and looked at the gentleness in Su Qinghui's eyes. She thought of the moment when she was moved. In the end, she couldn't say those ruthless words. She didn't say it, but Su Qinghui always wanted to take care of her. He got up and washed some fruit for her and cut it. He used a small toothpick to fork the fruit piece by piece and brought it to the bed. Qianxue, eat the fruit. Su Qinghui. Li Qianxue wanted to say that what he did was useless. She wouldn't be soft-hearted, nor would she appreciate it. But when the sweet fruit was placed in his mouth and he looked at her with a gentle expression, she couldn't say a single word after that. Li Qianxue silently ate the fruit that Su Qinghui fed her. She didn't even notice that she still had one hand that could move freely, but she didn't move it again. Su Qinghui was quite satisfied with such a change. It didn't matter. He could take it slow. Until Li Qianxue wanted to go to the bathroom and asked him to call Xiao Jiang in. What's wrong? Tell me what you want to take. I'll help you. Li Qianxue glared at Su Qinghui's face and gritted her teeth. I want to go to the bathroom. I'll carry you. No need. She could do it herself. Li Qianxue rejected his hand. Call Xiao Jiang in for me. Qianxue. Su Qinghui looked at the rejection in her eyes. Ignoring her rejection, he reached out and picked her up. Su Qinghui, don't worry, I'm just carrying you in. Su Qinghui worked out all year round. Although he wasn't young anymore, he was still quite strong. Li Qianxue was not heavy, so he easily picked her up and headed for the bathroom. The moment he put Li Qianxue down, she stood firmly on one foot. However, she found it a little difficult. Then, she lost her balance and fell into Su Qinghui's arms. She put a hand on Su Qinghui's chest. Get out. Su Qinghui looked at her reluctant face and reached out to take off her pants. You, be good, it's inconvenient for you to use one hand. I can. As if to prove her words, she swatted his hand away and reached for her hospital pants with one hand. However, she had underestimated the severity of her injury. Before she could pull down her pants, her bandaged feet could no longer stand. Her body tilted and she fell into Su Qinghui's arms again. This time, Su Qinghui didn't let go of her, nor did he let her push him away. Su Qingsang rushed over. When she entered the ward, she found that the environment of the ward was a little strange. Li Qianxue half leaned on the hospital bed, her face a little red. Su Qinghui was sitting by the bed, looking at Li Qianxue. Mom. Dad. Qingsang. Qingsang, you're here. Both of them were surprised to see Su Qingsang. Especially Li Qianxue. Didn't I tell you not to come? It's so far away, and now the weather is starting to get hot again. How are you? Are you tired? Why don't you go home and rest first? Mom. She asked a series of questions, and Su Qingsang didn't know which one to answer first. I'm not very tired. I wanted to come yesterday, but I arranged the things at hand. As she spoke, Li Qianxue looked behind her. Where's Hu Jinyao? He has something to do at the company. He'll come later. Mom, are you okay? Only then did Su Qingsang have time to observe Li Qianxue's body. When she saw the cast on Li Qianxue's hand, she stepped forward with concern. Why is your injury so serious? Is your hand okay? It's fine. Li Qianxue shook her head. Su Qingsang didn't know. She looked at Li Qianxue and immediately realized that something was wrong. Mom, why is your face so red? Do you have a fever? After trauma, it was easy to get infected and have a fever. These were all things to pay attention to. As a doctor, how could Su Qingsang not know this? She suddenly became nervous. Mom, did the doctor make his ward rounds today? Did he ask the doctor to check you? Yes, he did. Li Qianxue was too embarrassed to tell her daughter why she was blushing. Should she say that it was because Su Qinghui insisted on taking off her pants? And then, she couldn't say it, and her face was full of uneasiness. Su Qingsang was even more worried now. She raised her hand and placed it on Li Qianxue's forehead. It's not hot. But you can't let your guard down. I'd better ask the doctor to check you. When she said this, she was about to go outside. Li Qianxue quickly grabbed her hand. Mom, I'm really fine. It's just a little hot. Don't run around. Sit down and talk to Mom. Oh. Su Qingsang nodded and looked at Su Qinghui. He knew very well what Su Qinghui had done just now. He also knew why Li Qianxue's face was red. Now that his daughter was here, he also knew that they had something to talk about. Since Qingsang is here, let her talk to you. He just happened to go to the company to deal with work. Okay, Dad, you go. Su Qingsang watched Su Qinghui leave and immediately sat down by the bed. Mom, has Dad been taking care of you here these past few days? The red on Li Qianxue's face because of anger hadn't faded. She nodded at her daughter's words. Yes. It's all because of him. Mom, I'm nothing. Li Qianxue interrupted her daughter. She didn't intend to talk to her about Su Qinghui. You, on the other hand, ran out like this. Think about what to do with Nian Nian. My mother-in-law. And Grandpa and the others. Don't worry. Don't worry. Li Qianxue glared at her daughter. Why didn't you bring them to see me? I came in a hurry and didn't have time to prepare. If you want to see them, I'll ask Hu Jinyao to bring them here tomorrow. Forget it. I was just saying it casually. Don't torture the two children. Li Qianxue was reluctant. I just think you're heartless. The children are so young. How am I heartless? Mom, you're already injured like this. If I don't come to see you, I'm really heartless. Su Qingsang's words made Li Qianxue smile. The uneasiness that she had felt because of Su Qinghui just now had mostly dissipated. Looking at her daughter who was getting closer and closer to her, she also relaxed. As for the previous episode, she tried her best to throw it to the back of her mind. Su Qinghui, that rascal, thought she would compromise just like that. Dream on. She wouldn't. Definitely not. Ignoring the throbbing in her heart, Li Qianxue forced herself to pretend that nothing had happened. Li Qianxue's hand was the most seriously injured. The injury on her foot only needed to slowly recuperate. After staying in the intensive care unit for 2 days, Xiao Zhao was also out of danger. Su Qingsang's return made Li Qianxue much happier. After getting the doctor's permission, she went home to recuperate. After all, it was much more convenient at home. She could also use this time to get rid of Su Qinghui. She lived at home. There was Nanny Zhang, Xiao Tao, and Xiao Yu at home. It was not Su Qinghui's turn to court her. Therefore, a day after Su Qingsang came, Li Qianxue went back to the Li family to recuperate. Su Qinghui knew that she was deliberately avoiding him, but he was not in a hurry. It was not like he couldn't enter the Li family. Not to mention that his son and daughter were at home now. They would not stop him from entering the house. Therefore, when Li Qianxue was pushed to the table in a wheelchair for dinner that night, she saw Su Qinghui again. This made her expression sour. She wanted to drive him away, but her son and daughter were both there today. Old Master Li's smile widened because of Su Qingsang's arrival. Under such circumstances, Li Qianxue could only endure it. She forced herself to pretend that she did not see Su Qinghui sitting directly next to her just now and focused on eating. At the dining table, Su Qingsang still wanted to take care of Li Qianxue and put some food in her bowl or something. Someone moved faster than she did. Su Qinghui scooped a bowl of soup for Li Qianxue. He did not eat himself, but directly fed Li Qianxue. Li Qianxue met the eyes of the table and felt very uncomfortable for a moment. I have hands. Your hands are injured. Su Qinghui was very stubborn. The spoon in his hand was raised to Li Qianxue's mouth. You. His daughter and son were both staring at her, and old Master Li was still sitting next to her. Li Qianxue refused to cooperate. Su Qinghui, I can do it myself. Yes, I know. Su Qinghui's expression did not change, as if he did not feel the slightest bit uncomfortable being stared at by others. But this will be faster. Be good. His voice was very soft, so only they could hear each other. You are injured. Let me feed you. Li Qianxue resisted the urge to swing the bowl in his hand away. Looking at her son and daughter's gazes, she had a hard time holding back. She lowered her voice and stared at the gentle face in front of her. She felt as if she had used all her strength but hit cotton. Su Qinghui, I am not a child. But you are an injured patient. Su Qinghui moved the spoon forward a little more. Could it be that he was addicted to feeding her? Li Qianxue secretly gritted her teeth. When she was caught off guard, he had already fed her a spoonful of soup. Su Qingsang suddenly realized that she seemed to have seen something amazing. She couldn't help but look at Su Yusin. Su Yusin, however, looked calm. Yes, he had seen it in the hospital before, so he was not surprised. Old Master Li looked at Su Qinghui's actions, and a shrewd look flashed in his eyes. Fortunately, Su Qinghui knew when to stop. After feeding Li Qianxue, he chatted with Old Master Li in the living room for a while, then got up and left. Although he wanted to stay, he also knew the logic of taking things slowly. He would not force Li Qianxue to make a decision now. There was still a long way to go, and he was not in a hurry. Qianxue, have a good rest. I will leave first. I will see you tomorrow. Li Qianxue did not raise her head and spoke without thinking. Chapter 741. Su Qinghui didn't care about Li Qianxue's cold face, let alone her refusal. To him, all of this was within his plans and within his expectations. He was also prepared to persevere for a long time. He really didn't take a cold face to heart. Good night, Qianxue, see you tomorrow. Who wants to meet him tomorrow? Who wants him to say good night? Li Qianxue hated him for talking to himself, but her daughter and son were both there. She really didn't want to embarrass Su Qinghui in front of them. After Su Qinghui left, Su Qingsang looked at Su Qingsang with a meaningful look. At night, he pushed Li Qianxue back to her room. Together with Xiao Tao, she helped Li Qianxue to the bathroom to wash up, then helped her back to the bed to lie down. After Xiao Tao left, Su Qingsang didn't go back to her room. Instead, she sat down by the bed. Mom, you and Dad there's nothing between your father and me, Li Qianxue said quickly, completely ignoring the palpitations in her heart. He completely ignored the unusual fluctuations of emotions in her heart. What did she say? Su Qingsang looked at Li Qianxue's face and said playfully, Mom, I haven't had time to say anything yet. Li Qianxue's expression was a little strange. I'm sleepy. I need to rest. Oh. Su Qingsang touched her nose. I was thinking of video calling Xiang Xiang and Nian Nian for a while. Since you're tired, I'll go back to my room and video call you again. Hey. Li Qianxue suddenly sat up. You child. Even if I'm sleepy, a little while won't make a difference. Su Qingsang smiled. She probably knew what Li Qianxue was thinking. Mom. I won't persuade you to get back together with Dad. But if you really don't want to see him, ask Uncle Zhang to kick him out. Out of sight, out of mind. Seeing that Li Qianxue wasn't looking in her direction, she added, but if you want him to stay, don't chase him away. There were so many rooms in the house. It's not a big deal to have a room for Dad, don't you think? Li Qianxue looked a little embarrassed. Who wants to see him? I don't want him to stay. If he comes again tomorrow, I'll ask Uncle Zhang to kick him out. She spoke with a firm tone, but the look in her eyes was not as firm as her words revealed. She didn't know what Su Qinghui had done in the past few days to soften Li Qianxue's attitude. She didn't know if this was good or bad, but seeing that Li Qianxue's face was a little more angry than before, she felt that the situation in front of her was not bad. Although Li Qianxue was noble and elegant, after so many years of upbringing and the environment she lived in, she always looked a bit arrogant. It wasn't that this wasn't good, but the Li Qianxue in front of her, who would get angry, and uncomfortable, made her feel more real and more alive. From this point of view, Li Qianxue probably didn't know how much influence Su Qinghui had on her. For a moment, she was really looking forward to seeing if Li Qianxue could really kick Su Qinghui out the next day. Su Qinghui had come early. He didn't come empty-handed. She imitated Wei Ting and brought a large bouquet of roses. Old Master Li was usually the one who got up the earliest in the Li family. Seeing the flower in Su Qinghui's hand, his wrinkled face changed a little. However, it was only for a moment. The second person to wake up was Su Yusin. He didn't say that he was completely in charge of the company's affairs. No matter what, this was still his responsibility. Therefore, he woke up early every day and went to work on time. When he suddenly saw Su Qinghui holding a large bouquet of roses, he really couldn't control the expression on his face. Then it was Su Qingsang. She was also a little incredulous when she saw Su Qinghui like this. She blinked her eyes and thought about Li Qianxue, who was still upstairs. Dad, Mom seems to have just woken up. Why don't you go upstairs and look for her? It really wasn't that she was helping Su Qinghui. It was just that if Li Qianxue was so cold-hearted that she chased Su Qinghui out of the Li family, then as her children, they would feel a little awkward when they saw her. It was right to let Su Qinghui go upstairs. Su Qinghui looked at his daughter gratefully and went upstairs with the bouquet of roses in his arms. Li Qianxue's ankle was sprained. It really wasn't too serious. If she endured it, she could get up and take a few steps by herself. She had just washed up. Although it was inconvenient for her to use one hand, she was really not used to being served by others to do these relatively private things. Now, standing in front of the wardrobe, she looked at herself. She picked out a loose shirt and a skirt. When she was about to change, she encountered a little trouble. She only had one hand, so it was a little troublesome to put on clothes. Just as she was thinking about how to put on clothes with one hand, the door behind her opened. Li Qianxue, who had her back to the door, didn't take a closer look. At this time, it was either Su Qingsang or Xiao Tao who came in. Qingsang, come over and help me put on my clothes. She was wearing a nightgown that was very easy to take off yesterday. At this moment, she was taking off her nightgown with one hand. Her hand, which was in a cast, was carefully half-raised to make it easier to take off. When Su Qinghui entered the door, he saw such a scene. He stood there, and the roses in his hand became a little prickly for a moment. Qingsang. Li Qianxue took off half of her dress. She, who only had one hand, was stuck. A hand behind her helped her gently pull up her nightgown and took it off. "Thank you." Li Qianxue, who thought it was Su Qingsang, didn't think too much about it. She took the shirt and was about to continue. She was shocked when she suddenly saw Su Qinghui behind her. She was originally standing against the wardrobe, and the injury on her foot hurt at this moment. Her body lost its balance just like that. Su Qinghui quickly supported her. His hand wrapped around her and pulled her into his arms. Li Qianxue didn't have the habit of sleeping in her underwear, so her upper body was naked. Now, one hand was in a cast, and the other was holding a shirt. Su Qinghui hugged the woman in his arms and couldn't help but have a reaction. "Qianxue," this sound was almost a whisper. Li Qianxue wanted to stand firm and get away from him, but her feet didn't work. She looked at Su Qinghui. Yesterday, she had said that she wanted to chase him out, but now she couldn't say it. "Qianxue." Su Qinghui narrowed his eyes and called out again. He stared at her like a cheetah staring at its prey. She subconsciously wanted to step back. The hand on the back of her waist tightened, and she was brought into his arms, tightly pressed against him. Without waiting for her to push Su Qinghui away, he lowered his head and kissed her lips. First, he carefully probed, then he went deep, and then it was almost like he was plundering. Forgive Li Qianxue for living for so long, but she had pitifully little experience in this area. And men would always be more perceptive than women in this area. She couldn't stand steadily, and all her strength was placed on him. For a moment, she didn't know if it was because of the pain, or because of his kiss that made her legs weak. She couldn't help it. These were the only words in Su Qinghui's mind. His slender and strong fingers gently slid across her back. The smooth touch made him a little unable to stop. He easily hugged her body tightly, and the kiss became more and more lingering. When it ended, Li Qianxue's breathing was rapid, and her whole body was weak. She couldn't stand steadily, so she let Su Qinghui hold her. He carried her to the bed. He took the clothes she had just held and carefully put them on for her. During the whole process, Li Qianxue didn't resist at all. She was a little shocked by that kiss. The feeling that her soul was about to be devoured by the other party made her calm and self-control disappear without a trace, and she completely forgot how to deal with it. The buttons were buttoned one by one, and Su Qinghui used all his self-control. When the last button was buttoned, he was more or less relieved. He wasn't a beast, but he really couldn't bear to see his beloved woman disheveled in front of him, unless he was a saint. Looking at the wheelchair beside him, he went forward and pushed the wheelchair over. He picked up Li Qianxue. Su Qinghui. The feeling of her body suddenly being suspended in the air shocked Li Qianxue. When he put her in the wheelchair, she realized that she seemed to be too nervous. "Let's go downstairs for breakfast." "You probably haven't had breakfast yet." "Of course not." The moment Li Qianxue turned around, she saw the large bouquet of roses in the room. She was stunned. The scene just now came into her mind, and Li Qianxue's face turned red. Suddenly, she was a little embarrassed and angry. "Su Qinghui, who allowed you to come up? Get out of here." Not only did Li Qianxue chase him away, but she also added, "If you don't go out, I don't mind asking Uncle Zhang to come up and chase you away." Su Qinghui's hand, which was on the wheelchair, stopped for a moment. He went around to Li Qianxue and half squatted down to look at her. "Are you angry? Don't I have the right to be angry?" Li Qianxue pointed in the direction of the door. "Who allowed you to enter my room? Who allowed you to enter the Li family? Don't forget, we're divorced." "I haven't forgotten." Su Qinghui looked at the anger on her face. He no longer felt helpless, anxious, regretful, and self-reproach like before. There were still some of those emotions, but more than that, he was willing to put his heart on doing something practical instead of using it on useless regrets. Chinchua, are you so angry because I entered the house? Or because of the kiss just now? If it's because of entering the house, my daughter and son are here. I can't think of anything wrong with me coming to see them. If it's because of the kiss just now, shut up. Li Chinchua raised her voice, but Su Qinghui grabbed her hand at this moment. You felt it just now, didn't you? I didn't. Su Qinghui, shut up. This time, Li Chinchua was really embarrassed into anger. Who would have feelings? She didn't, not at all. I hate you. I can't even wait to hate you. How can I feel anything? Before she could finish her sentence, Su Qinghui actually kissed her lips again. It was a kiss that was even more lingering, fragrant, and presumptuous than before. He did his best to provoke a reaction from her. She sat in the wheelchair and was suppressed by him until she had nowhere to run. Until she became a pool of water again. He stepped back a little and pressed his forehead against hers. Seeing her breathing quicken and her face turn red, he reached out and gently caressed her face. Look, you have a reaction too. Li Chinchua was speechless. She should slap him or punch him directly, but she really didn't have any strength now. If she weren't sitting in a wheelchair, she might have already fallen to the ground. She didn't expect Su Qinghui to do this again, nor did she expect Su Qinghui's kiss to make her so addicted. For a moment, her entire body froze in the wheelchair, and she couldn't come back to her senses for a long time. Shameless. After holding it in for a long time, Li Chinchua only said this. Yes, I know. He didn't deny it. Holding her face, he looked at her very seriously. But what should I do? After meeting you, I only want to do some shameless things. Looking at the stunned Li Chinchua, he wanted to laugh again. This Li Chinchua was less cold and arrogant, and more cute. He couldn't help but peck her lips. Chinchua, you're so cute. Li Chinchua's face instantly turned red. Su Qinghui, was he coaxing her like a child? She was already in her 40s, and he actually said she was cute. Her heart rose and fell violently, but she didn't say the words to chase him away. In the current situation, she had lost a little in terms of momentum. How could she still have the face to chase him away? However, this made Li Chinchua's expression even worse. When Su Qinghui's car stopped at the entrance of the company, his mind was still thinking about Li Chinchua. Whether it was her blushing and heartbeat because of his kiss, or her reaction when she was teased by him, they all made him think about it again and again. This kind of feeling was actually really strange. In the past, when he hadn't discovered his feelings, no matter what Li Chinchua did, he could ignore it. But when he really discovered his feelings and understood his thoughts, he felt that Li Chinchua's every move was fascinating. She was angry, and she was cold. No matter which side it was, it made his heart beat faster. Thinking of how she refused his approach because she was angry when she went downstairs and took the initiative to sit next to her daughter, he felt a wave of joy. No matter what, today's progress was beyond his expectations. Chinchua's emotions fluctuated. Whether it was anger or hatred, joy or resentment, in his opinion, it was a good thing. At least it meant that she was not indifferent to everything about him. He would also have more confidence that he would persevere to make her soften, be moved, and even fall in love with him again. He was in a good mood. When he entered the office, his footsteps were extremely light. For the past 2 days, because of Li Chinchua's injury, he had been taking care of her in the hospital. Although he did not neglect his work, there were still some things that he had to personally ask about. Qiao Ran followed him in as soon as he entered the door. After reporting today's activities, he placed a few resumes in front of Su Qinghui. President Su, Secretary Huang was about to give birth to a second child. Therefore, she needs to find someone to replace her position. You once said that you want to interview your secretary yourself. These are the top few in the written test. Take a look. Leave it. Su Chenghui had 2 secretaries. The general secretary's surname was Huang, and she had been with him for several years. She was quite steady in everything she did. However, recently, she was unexpectedly pregnant with a second child. Secretary Huang was not young, and she wanted to give birth to the child. She had told him early that she planned to go and raise the child after this month. Her position was vacant, so Su Qinghui asked Xiao Ran to recruit people. The first and second place in this written test are both not bad. The others also have their own strengths. I've arranged for the interview this afternoon. Do you think it's okay? Okay. Su Chenghui couldn't interview everyone. There were only 3 or 4 people in total. The investment cases that he was dealing with now were not small. The people who worked with him, whether it was Secretary Huang or Xiao Ran, had all been working with him for many years. He hoped that the people he could recruit in the future would be loyal and reliable. However, Su Chenghui didn't expect that he would meet an acquaintance during the interview in the afternoon. Uncle. When Jing Shu entered the door, she saw Su Chenghui. Her eyes lit up and she looked surprised. Uncle, why are you here? Are you here for an interview too? She walked in with extremely cheerful steps, as if she didn't notice that Su Chenghui's seat was not for an interviewee. Su Chenghui looked at her smiling face. When she smiled, she looked more like Su Peixian. Thinking of his daughter, Su Chenghui's expression relaxed a little. Yes. I'm here for an interview. Really? Jing Shu sighed. Then what should I do? Uncle, won't you become my competitor? But uncle, let me tell you. I won't admit defeat. I believe that my abilities won't lose to yours. Really? This confident look was also very similar. Su Chenghui pulled out her information and glanced at it. Your name is Jing Shu. Yes. Jing Shu seemed to understand now. Uncle, how did you know? She looked at the information in front of Su Chenghui and then at the seat he was sitting in. She seemed to have suddenly understood. Ha! Uncle, you're the interviewer. Are you from Qianhui Corporation? Yes. Su Chenghui sat down and looked at Jing Shu's shocked face. He calmed himself and said in a businesslike manner, sit down. You came in second in the written test. Your results are not bad, but I still have some questions to ask you. Go ahead. After knowing that Su Chenghui was the interviewer, Jing Shu's attitude changed. She sat upright with a serious expression. The smile on her small face disappeared, and her eyes were obviously nervous. Relax a little. It's not a difficult question. Seeing that the other party was somewhat similar to Su Peixian, Su Chenghui wouldn't make things too difficult for her. You're 23 years old today. You just graduated from university a year ago. Yes. Jing Shu was a little embarrassed when she said this. Yes. I only graduated for a year, and I only have 1 year of work experience. Weren't you in Lin City before? Then why did you want to come to Lin City to develop? Can I not say? Jing Shu looked at Su Chenghui, as if she didn't really want to answer this question. Su Chenghui frowned. Yes. Then can you tell me the reason for your resignation? No company would like an employee who kept changing jobs. Su Chenghui was naturally the same. Can I also not answer this question? Jing Shu's answer made Su Chenghui's expression become more serious. He raised his head, as if it was the first time he had looked at the little girl in front of him. If that's the case, then I can only refuse to hire you. Jing Shu's face fell. Su Chenghui didn't have much sympathy. It was one thing to feel close to the other party because she looked somewhat similar to Su Peijian, but it was another thing for work. No matter how much she looked like Su Peijian, she wasn't Su Peijian. And he had always been very serious about work. He pressed the internal line and was about to call the next interviewer. Jing Shu suddenly grabbed his hand. I'll tell you. She lowered her head, as if she was a little reluctant. Actually, why did I come to Lin City? It's because of my boyfriend. I used to work in my hometown, and I was doing well. But my boyfriend felt that we were living apart. He wanted me to come to Lin City before. I refused, so he said that I didn't love him. Later, when I finally compromised, he always complained a lot. I love my boyfriend very much. After thinking about it, I convinced my parents to come to Lin City, but I didn't expect that my boyfriend was just lying to me. When I wasn't by his side, he already had a new lover. What are you trying to say? Su Chenghui didn't hear the main point of her words. I want to say that the purpose of my interview with your company isn't as grand as the other interviewees. I'm just angry. I could have gone home, but I resigned and ran away. I would definitely be laughed at when I go back. I don't want my ex-boyfriend to look down on me either. So I came for an interview to find a job and prove to my boyfriend that I can do it too. Jing Shu seemed to be a little embarrassed. She looked at Su Chenghui. So, that's how it is. I can't be like the other candidates and say that I joined your company because I love this industry. My purpose wasn't simple from the beginning. She twisted her fingers and looked very uncomfortable. Su Chenghui looked at the other party's resume and thought for a moment. Okay. I got it. Uncle. Jing Shu seemed to want to say something, but Su Chenghui knocked on the table. Next Monday, come to the company's personnel department to report. Then, I'll get someone to take you there and tell you what you want to do. Uncle, do you mean to hire me? Is that so? Jing Shu looked shocked. She couldn't believe that she would have such good luck. Yes. I'm hiring you. Su Chenghui looked at her surprised expression and smiled. Why? Didn't you say you want to prove it to your boyfriend? If you don't work, how can you prove it? Uncle, don't worry. I'll definitely work hard. Jing Shu stood up with an excited expression. I'll definitely work hard. I'll also double my studies. I won't drag the company down. Really, Uncle? Believe me. That's enough. Su Chenghui wasn't angry when he heard the other party's incoherent words. They had all been young, so it was understandable that they were a little unsteady. Go. Remember to report next week. Of course, of course. Jing Shu took a step back. Because she was too excited, she almost stepped on her own feet. She smiled involuntarily. Goodbye, Uncle. Uncle, you're such a good person. Stop. Seeing that the other party was about to pull the door, Su Chenghui stopped her. Jing Shu stopped and turned to look at Su Chenghui. Work hard. Also, remember to call me President Su next time. He didn't want people to misunderstand that the company had some connections. Got it. Jing Shu saluted him. Just as she was about to call him uncle, the words that came out of her mouth changed. Goodbye, President Su. Jing Shu left the door. Her face was no longer as stupid as she had been in Su Chenghui's office. She took out her phone and sent a message. Chapter 742. Su Chenghui didn't have much to do for the interview today. He told Xiao Ran to cancel all his social engagements for the next few days. He left the company but was not in a hurry to go to the Li family. Instead, he wanted to choose a birthday present for Li Qianxue. Li Qianxue's birthday was coming up. Although she had not fully recovered from her injuries, she was almost fully recovered. The cast on his hand would be removed in a few days. It was just that it was a little inconvenient. The sprain on his foot was basically healed, but he had to be careful when walking and not use too much force. Her body had almost recovered, so she couldn't sit still. He still wanted to work in the company. How could they agree before the plaster was even removed? Thinking of Li Qianxue, Su Qinghui felt a little excited. In fact, although she had been treating him coldly for the past few days, she had not been able to drive him out of her life. Firstly, the two children were at home. With Li Qianxue's personality, she really couldn't do anything to stop the children from being close to Su Qinghui. Su Qingsang, for example, had lacked fatherly love for so many years. Now that Su Qinghui wanted to make it up to her, she wouldn't stop him. As a result, she couldn't stop him, which made things much easier for Su Qinghui. Not only did that fellow enter her room, he even took the opportunity to get close to her. Her hands and feet had been injured for the past few days. How could she be a match for Su Qinghui? Being carried up and down the stairs by him was nothing. She could only endure it when he took advantage of her care to take advantage of her from time to time. What was even more intolerable was that he would kiss and touch her from time to time. It had seriously affected her mood. Every time she saw Su Qinghui, her face darkened. However, she couldn't refuse Su Qinghui even if she was ugly. Of course, Su Qinghui saw the changes in her. He was very happy and became more and more attentive. In the past 20 years, Su Qinghui had never picked out a gift for Li Qianxue. Birthday presents are given every year. After all, at that time, he and Li Qianxue still wanted to maintain the appearance of harmony in their marriage. However, the gifts were always picked by his secretary. This was the first time he had personally picked one. After visiting several shops, Su Qinghui was still not satisfied. In his opinion, these jewels were too tacky and unworthy of Li Qianxue. Li Qianxue was the president of the Li Group. What kind of jewelry hadn't she seen? How could these vulgar things be worthy of her? With that in mind, Su Qinghui couldn't find anything he was satisfied with. He was a little anxious. After some thought, he made a trip to ancient Langxian. Gu Langxian was the property of Hua Jiniao's childhood friend, Wan Xianyang's family. Originally, it only had branches in the north. Later, because Hua Jiniao came to Lin City to develop, Gu Langxian also opened a few branches in the south. There was one in Lin City. Su Qinghui went to Gu Langxian. He was lucky. He took a fancy to a set of jewelry. Although the material was ruby, the design was very simple and elegant. Most importantly, this set of jewelry came from a prestigious family. It was part of a series designed by the royal designer of the Belgian royal family. He didn't know how he ended up in China. Su Qinghui bought his favorite jewelry. When he was about to go home, he saw a pair of emerald dragon and phoenix pendants. The two pieces of jade, one dragon and one phoenix, were of superior quality both in terms of carving technique and quality. Su Qinghui thought for a moment and bought the two pieces of jade as well. Li Qianxue's birthday had been half a month since her car accident. After half a month, the cast on her hand had been removed. It was too inconvenient to wear a cast. After asking the doctor and knowing that the injury on her hand had recovered well, she didn't want to wear a cast anymore. Now, it was just wrapped in a bandage and hung around her neck. She was usually careful not to touch it or use force. She would wait for her hand to recover. Today was her birthday. In the past, on her birthday, she would hold a banquet at the Li family and invite some of her good friends to come over for a small gathering. However, this year, her hand was injured, so she wanted to keep everything simple. Li Chinchue cancelled this event. When old Master Li asked her a few days ago, she said that it would be enough for the family to have a meal together. Li Chinchue got up early in the morning and had just put on her clothes when Su Qingsang knocked on the door. "Come in." Su Qingsang entered the door, but she wasn't alone. She and Su Yusin were holding two children in each hand. Her Xiangxiang and Nian Nian were full of energy and woke up very early every day. Xiangxiang and Nian Nian are here. Li Chinchue's heart melted when she saw her grandson and granddaughter. "Why are you up so early? We just got off the plane yesterday. Let the children sleep a little longer." The two little guys had never been out before. This time, they came to Lin City to celebrate Li Chinchue's birthday. It was their first time taking a plane. Previously, Li Chinchue was very worried. Yesterday, she checked the children up and down before letting them go. They got up early. Su Qingsang and Su Yusin entered the door with the children in their arms. Xiangxiang and Nian Nian video called Li Chinchue every day and were very close. Now that they saw Li Chinchue, they wanted to reach out and let Li Chinchue carry them. "Stop fooling around." Su Qingsang pressed her son's hand and didn't let him move. "Grandma is injured. I can't carry you." "It's okay." "Who said that?" Li Chinchue was about to reach out, but Su Qingsang stopped her. "Mom, stop fooling around. Although your hand cast is gone, the doctor said that you have to take good care of it. Look at you, you've even removed the bandage. You're really... Don't worry, I won't use any force. Can't you carry the child with force?" Su Qingsang wouldn't let her carry the child no matter what. She glanced at Su Yusin and the two of them carried the child to Li Chinchue. "Come, baby, say happy birthday to Grandma." The two children were only a few months old. How could they speak? However, they only cried out. "Good, good." Li Chinchue was already very satisfied. Looking at the two children, her heart softened. "Mom." Su Qingsang took out the gift she had prepared. "I wish you a happy birthday. You're getting younger and more beautiful. You child." Li Chinchue took her daughter's gift. She was gratified and touched. "You're so polite to me." To her, Su Qingsang's willingness to let Hu Jinyao bring Xiangxiang and Nian Nian to Lin City was the biggest gift. "Mom. Happy birthday." Su Yusin followed and handed over the gift. "Good, good." Li Chinchue looked at her two children and was no longer dissatisfied. Her gaze fell on Su Yusin. "Yusin, when you get married and have a child, Mom will really be satisfied." Her gaze fell on Su Yusin. Su Yusin, who didn't understand how the topic had jumped to this point, was speechless. "Mom, I'm only 19 this year. I'm only a freshman. I know, there's no rush. But if you want to find him now, I won't object." Su Yusin didn't respond. Instead, he carried his little niece and walked outside. "All right, I'll take Nian Nian to see brother-in-law." Hu Jinyao came yesterday, but he had the habit of doing morning exercises every morning. So he went to exercise early in the morning. "Look. Whenever I say I'm looking for a girlfriend, you won't answer me." They were still dating in high school. Don't think that she didn't know. She would always pay attention to her son's changes. Why did he become so clear-minded after going to university? Li Chinchue didn't understand. Su Qingsang looked in the direction of her brother's departure and also didn't understand. She knew that Su Yusin had a girlfriend, but what happened to him and Bai Jihan? Maybe she could ask him later. When Li Chinchue went downstairs, Auntie Zhang had prepared longevity noodles for her for decades. While the family was having a good time, Su Qinghui arrived. Seeing Su Qinghui, Li Qianxue felt uncomfortable for a moment, but it was only for a moment. During this period of time, Su Qinghui had almost become a frequent visitor of the Li family. Except when he didn't live here, he would appear on time every morning and evening. Su Qinghui entered the door and greeted Old Master Li and the others. Then, he looked at Li Qianxue. "Qianxue, happy birthday." As he spoke, he pushed the box in his hand in front of Li Qianxue. His eyes were full of anticipation. Li Qianxue looked at the box and didn't reach out to take it. She didn't have any intention of picking it up and looking at it. "Qianxue. Happy birthday," Su Qinghui said again. He didn't mind being humiliated by Li Qianxue. When his gaze fell on Xiang Xiang and Nian Nian, who were in Hu Jinyao and Su Qingsang's arms, he took out the pair of dragon and phoenix jade pendants in his hand. "When I was buying a gift for your mother, I happened to see this pair of jade pendants and thought they were okay. You can wear them for the two children to play with." Su Qingsang and Hu Jinyao were in Rong City. Although he would occasionally visit the two children, they didn't spend much time together after all. Su Qinghui was still very concerned about these two grandchildren. "Thank you, Dad." Su Qingsang took the box and shook it in front of the two little babies. "Xiang Xiang and Nian Nian, look, you guys also have gifts for Grandma's birthday. Are you happy?" Nian Nian glanced at it and wasn't interested. The more he thought about it, the more interested he became. He wanted to grab it with all his might. Li Qianxue looked at her grandson's cute behavior, and the coldness on her face dissipated a little. "Since you're here, let's have a meal together," Old Master Li said. He had also seen Su Qinghui's performance during this period of time. His feelings towards this ex-son-in-law were a little complicated. After talking to Wei Ting last time, he felt that Wei Ting was a good young man. Although there was a big age gap between him and Li Qianxue, he was steady and thoughtful. He thought about the problem from a comprehensive perspective. That was why he was relieved. However, he didn't expect Su Qinghui to be so attentive during this period of time. He had also seen Li Qianxue's thoughtfulness and care. For a moment, Old Master Li's heart softened. No matter what, he was a junior that he had raised by his side. Even if he made a mistake, he had to give him a chance, right? His daughter glared at him angrily again. Old Master Li looked at Li Qianxue's reaction and actually felt a little helpless. Li Qianxue might not have realized that no matter how many years had passed, the only person who could make her so emotional was Su Qinghui. Back then, how much effort had he spent to nurture Li Qianxue? Whether it was her speech, behavior, or the four arts. Whether it was her usual common sense or the company's affairs. She had always been calm and self-controlled. She rarely lost control, but she met Su Qinghui. No matter how many years had passed and how many things had happened, it could make her not as calm as usual. "Thank you, Dad." Su Qinghui received Old Master Li's support and quickly pulled out a chair and sat down. Li Qianxue knew that she couldn't chase him away, but she didn't show much resistance. After all, ever since she was injured, there had been too many such situations. Not to mention Old Master Li, even her son and daughter had softened because of Su Qinghui's actions. Li Qianxue was a little annoyed. She ate a bowl of longevity noodles as if she was chewing wax. After breakfast, Su Qinghui looked at Li Qianxue's expression and said very carefully, "Qianxue, the weather is good today. Why don't we go out for a walk?" "No." Li Qianxue refused without thinking. "My foot injury hasn't healed yet. Why should we go?" In fact, it was already healed. It didn't matter if they walked on normal flat ground. But she wanted to say that on purpose. I can push you in a wheelchair. No need. I can walk on my own. After Li Qianxue said that, she realized the contradiction in her words. For a moment, she looked a little embarrassed. Su Qinghui didn't mind at all. That's okay. If you want to go, go. If you don't want to go, I'll push you. Anyway, I won't let you be tired. Li Qianxue looked at Su Qinghui. How could he be so shameless? He just thought that she had to go out with him, right? Su Yusin said, Mom, you took off the cast yesterday. Didn't the doctor ask you to go for a re-examination today? I'm going to the company. Let Dad send you there. As he spoke, he looked at Su Qingsang, hoping that she would cooperate with him. Su Qingsang blinked. She didn't plan to get involved, but in the end, she couldn't help but refuse Su Yusin. What's more, she had just received a gift from Su Qinghui. Yes. Mom, let Dad take you for a re-examination. You can also visit Uncle Zhao. Ji Niao and I plan to visit Wan Wan and our colleagues in the hospital. You. How could Li Qianxue not see that the two children did it on purpose? She was so angry that she couldn't help but glare at Su Qinghui. It was all his fault. Now he had bought over his daughter and son. Let's go. Let's go for a re-examination. The word "we" was said especially intimately. Li Qianxue could hear it. Her lips moved and she wanted to retort, but in the end, she held back. After going to the hospital for a checkup, Li Qianxue's body recovered quite well. This was because she liked to exercise and paid attention to health. Her physical condition was much better than that of her peers. Other than the injury on her hand, she had to pay attention to her foot injury. After receiving the doctor's instructions, Li Qianxue went to see Xiao Zhao again. Xiao Zhao was out of danger. After this period of rest, he had recovered a lot. The Li family was not a mean person. Li Qianxue let Xiao Zhao have a good rest. Then she left. After coming out of the hospital, Li Qianxue found that Su Qinghui had been following her. She turned around and looked at him with a complicated gaze. Although she didn't need Su Qinghui to take care of her during this period of time, it wasn't that she didn't feel anything for what he had done. But it was precisely because she felt that she felt more and more sad. This kind of emotion was very complicated. It was like a person who had always wanted something. One day, when he suddenly got it, he wouldn't feel that he had gotten it, but would doubt the authenticity of what he had gotten. Chapter 743. Li Qianxue stood at the entrance of the hospital and stared at Su Qinghui. He did not leave, nor did he speak. Qianxue. Su Qinghui looked at her worriedly. Are you okay? Does it hurt again? Should we go in and see a doctor again? The worry on his face was so obvious. Li Qianxue lowered her head and remained silent. Qianxue. Su Qinghui was even more worried. He rarely saw Li Qianxue like this. What's wrong with you? Can you tell me? Li Qianxue pursed her lips tightly. She looked down at her toes and then suddenly raised her head to look at Su Qinghui. Su Qinghui, can you stay away from me? The last 5 words became, tell me, what do you want? Su Qinghui was stunned for a moment. Meeting Li Qianxue's unreadable expression, he took a step forward. I want to make it up to you. I want a chance to be by your side. He didn't even dare to say something like starting over, nor could he say it out loud. He knew that he would be rejected by Li Qianxue. Li Qianxue naturally understood. At the moment, Su Qinghui's expectations were really low. She turned to look at the entrance of the hospital. At that moment, an ambulance had just entered the hospital. She looked at the ambulance that was approaching and moved a few steps to the side. The ambulance stopped, and a man covered in blood got out. The paramedics rushed out and carried the person on the stretcher to the stretcher. Then, they quickly rushed inside to rescue him. The hospital was a place where people were born, aged, sick, and died every day. Looking at the people coming and going, Li Qianxue seemed to have figured something out. He also understood some things. She took a few more steps outside. Su Qinghui didn't know what she wanted to do, so he kept following her. Looking at her figure, he wanted to say something several times, but he was afraid that he would upset Li Qianxue. Su Qinghui. Walking out of the hospital, Li Qianxue, who was standing beside Su Qinghui's car, suddenly stopped in her tracks. She didn't look at him but continued to stare at the heavy traffic on the road. You said you wanted to make it up to me. You said you want a chance to stay by my side. Yes. But let me tell you, if I don't need you to make it up to me, I don't want to see you by my side. What do you want? Silence. Su Qinghui, who had already known this result, was not surprised at all. If Li Qianxue could forgive him so easily, then she wouldn't be called Li Qianxue. Or rather, what if I choose to be with another man? What do you want? Su Qinghui's pupils suddenly contracted. He looked at Li Qianxue's back and felt bitter in his mouth. I'm not young anymore. Li Qianxue knew very well that no matter how well she took care of herself, now that she was a grandmother, she also had an old heart. I don't have the energy either. She turned around and looked at Su Qinghui. There was some uncertainty in her eyes, but only for a moment. Soon, her expression became extremely determined. Su Qinghui. You know what? You have consumed all my passion. The power of all my lovers. I don't know how to love anymore. Su Qinghui's throat seemed to be choked. Of course, he knew everything that Li Qianxue said. I don't think so, don't say sorry. Li Qianxue didn't want to hear those words right now. She raised her hand, tilted her head, and stared fixedly at Su Qinghui's face. I don't need your apology. It's useless to apologize. Li Qianxue frowned slightly. This was her expression when she was thinking. She didn't speak, and Su Qinghui didn't know what to say. Other than apologizing and making up for it, he really didn't seem to be able to do anything. Qianxue. Do you love me? The extremely sudden question made Su Qinghui think that there was something wrong with his ears. I love you. Li Qianxue wasn't surprised. More than a year had passed. She had heard Su Qinghui's confession more than once. Even if sometimes he didn't directly say the words I love you. But I don't really believe it. Qianxue, she interrupted his eager confession. Li Qianxue had always been a straightforward person. Once she made a decision, she wouldn't regret it, let alone look back. Su Qinghui, if I never love you in the future, would you mind? Su Qinghui didn't understand what Li Qianxue meant. You said that you want to make it up to me. You said that you love me. You said that you just want a chance to be with me. Then let me ask you, Su Qinghui. If I never love you in this life, no matter what you do, I will only hate you. Wouldn't you mind? Do you still want to be with me? More than 20 years of hurt, in exchange for the pain of not being able to recognize her daughter, Li Qianxue admitted that she couldn't easily turn the page. Yes. This time, Su Qinghui's voice was much firmer. No matter what, I will always be with you. Li Qianxue fell silent again. She lowered her head and happened to see the shadow created by the sunlight on her body. Her actions today were obviously not right. Su Qinghui had no idea what she meant and stood there uneasily. Okay. After a long time, he heard Li Qianxue say the word okay. Okay. What was okay? Li Qianxue looked up at him as if she had made up her mind. I agree to give you a chance. Qianxue. This time, Su Qinghui really thought that he was hallucinating. How was that possible? After Li Qianxue said the first word, the rest was much easier. I agree with what you said just now. If you want a chance, I'll give it to you. But, it's only for 1 year. What? There were too many surprises today, and Su Qinghui didn't have time to digest them. He only felt that it was surreal. I said I'll give you 1 year. If you can change my mind and believe your sincerity in this year, I'll agree to be with you. Qianxue. Su Qinghui was completely stunned by the sudden huge surprise. Is what you said true? You only have 1 year. After these past few days, Li Qianxue had actually confirmed some things. She could never be indifferent to Su Qinghui. She would always have a different feeling for him. After all, she had loved him for so many years, and it had already gone deep into her bones. It really wasn't something that could be erased in a day or two. But she couldn't forget the hurt he had brought to her, and she couldn't forget what he had done. She was conflicted. Now, she wanted to give him a chance, and also give herself a chance. Feelings could be cultivated again, but the hurt would always be there. She gave herself 1 year. If a year later, she could really slowly let go of the hurt and forget, then she wouldn't mind being with Su Qinghui again. But if a year later, the feeling he gave her was still the same as now, making her in a dilemma, then she could only decisively cut off all contact with Su Qinghui. If she made up her mind, even Su Qinghui couldn't stop her. Su Qinghui couldn't help but step forward and hug her. He avoided her injured hand and trapped her tightly in his arms. Qianxue. Believe me. I will work hard. I will definitely work hard. I promise I will persist. Not just this year, but for many years to come. He thought that he would never have a chance in this lifetime. He also thought that he might have to wait many years before Li Qianxue would let him go, but he didn't expect that day to come so soon. Qianxue. Thank you. Thank you so much. Even if she hadn't agreed yet, even if there was still 1 year, it was enough for Su Qinghui. He would definitely work hard to make her accept him again. Don't thank me. Li Qianxue was still not used to him being so close to her. She pushed him away and took a step back. I haven't forgiven you, and I haven't accepted you. I'm just giving you time. 1 year. If you can't do it, then you have to promise that you'll never appear in front of me again. Qianxue. If you don't agree, then my proposal just now will be invalid. I will hire a professional manager and travel the world so that you won't be able to find me. Su Qinghui, don't doubt my ability. I can do it. As the president of the Li family, of course she could do it. Su Qinghui knew. However, he thought that she would at least care about old Master Li and the 2 children. I have ties, but I also want to live for myself once. As if knowing what he was thinking, Li Qianxue didn't mind telling him her plan. Su Qinghui understood what she meant. Li Qianxue was such a person. How about it? Do you agree? Meeting her provocative gaze, he nodded heavily. I agree. 1 year. Just 1 year. If I can't make you change your mind in a year, I promise I won't pester you again. Wrong. It's not that you won't pester me, but you'll never appear in front of me again. Su Qinghui looked at Li Qianxue's exquisite eyes and nodded heavily in agreement. After he agreed, Li Qianxue felt her back suddenly relax. It was as if something had suddenly been let go. 1 year, just 1 year. No matter what, let her enjoy Su Qinghui's efforts for the time being. In the past few years, she had been the one who had been giving. She had been working hard for the relationship between the two of them. Now that she was tired, the roles had been reversed. Let Su Qinghui worry about it. After getting into the car, Su Qinghui still hadn't recovered from that mood. He was like a young boy, not knowing where to put his hands and feet. Qianxue, where are you going? Shall I send you? Li Qianxue turned her face to look at him, as if she was looking at a fool. Go home. I'm injured. Where else can I go? Yes, go home. Go home. Su Qinghui nodded, but when he was about to start the car, he couldn't help but stop and look at her. Why don't we go on a date? Go to the movies. Or go shopping. He didn't know what to do with a woman, so he was very clumsy for a moment. He really hadn't dated a woman before. He didn't know what a boyfriend and girlfriend usually did on a date. Su Qinghui, you seem to have forgotten something, right? You're tuning into the LoveLore Library YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.